Welcome to America's Day at the Races on FS2. Good to have you with us on this Thursday afternoon program brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Live action from under the Twin Spires. We'll get to their first race here in just a moment. Greg Wolf, Andy Serling, good to see you. And we got 3 tracks tonight: Canterbury, Shakopee, Minnesota, Horseshoe, Indianapolis, and of course Churchill Downs.
Yeah, a little bit of rain, so Churchill Downs and Indianapolis are both off the turf, but nice to be here bringing these cars. Nice to spend some time with you as well, Greg. And they're off the turf, but the race off the turf in the first to Churchill, while only 4 came to play, there's some really good stakes horses in this race.
Yeah, it's actually turned into a decent group here coming off the grass. We got a multiple graded stakes winner right now, who's the 7-5 favorite at Silver Dust. There he is, the gray. And I'm not even sure he's a cinch in this spot.
Well, I mean, I think that Sprawl is a talent as great as stakes horse as well. Sprawl, who finished 3rd in last year's Stephen Foster, to me, he's the horse to beat, and I also think he's supposed to be the speed. Yeah, I prefer him to Silver Dust. Well, Silver Dust hasn't run since 11 months, since running poorly, well behind Sprawl in the Stephen Foster, and he was a bigger price than Sprawl was that day. I think Sprawl's the horse to beat, but he's coming off a little bit of a layoff himself, but his is just 3 months.
Yeah, it's a little misleading. It was his first start back since April for Silver Dust last time out. He did have a little trouble in there, so we'll see.
Yeah, I agree, but it's just that he hasn't been out since the end. You know, that's what concerns me the most. And you look at the others, I'm very surprised the 5 came out of this race because he's got dirt form that I thought made him a major player. I think you'll see some speed from background on the inside with Sprawl stalking him. And it's not as though Pirates Punch off the claim doesn't have some races fast enough as well. So maybe you want to take somebody else with some more recency. For me, I'm all about Sprawl.
Who's won on an off track as well. That was at Churchill Downs. Probably the biggest figure he's ever run. I know not Beyer speed figure-wise, but thoroughgraphs certainly it was. He's coming off a race against Olympiad. We'll see. And another question for Silver Dust. I know he had that trouble in the comeback. It was his first start back, but is he at 8 years old as good as he was when he won those grade 3s?
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, you're talking about a horse that's best race, really, was that 99 Beyer in the Alley Sheba, but that was September of 2020. So we're almost 2 years away from that. I don't know how reliable it is. I just hate taking horses at short prices off layoffs. But having said that, I'm taking a horse off a little bit of a layoff himself in Sprawl, even though it's a much shorter one.
And the one we didn't mention, Pirates Punch, grade 3 winner as well at Monmouth back in 2020. So the 4 left, pretty good group. Travis Stone to kick off this Thursday evening card at Churchill.
And they're off. Silver Dust, good beginning. Background toward the inside is there. Pirates Punch comes on through between them, and Sprawl was hustled out of the gate, but nonetheless is settled back and forth as they hit the opening turn, where it's Background the leader. Pirates Punch comes on 2 wide, and Silver Dust comes on 3 wide. So 3 across the track early, and Sprawl settles in behind them, 2.5 lengths off the lead. Around the clubhouse turn, and it's Background in front, but it's a narrow lead. Pirates Punch with the pressure from second. There's 6 furlongs to go. Silver Dust just coasting along, tracking them intently from third. 1.5 lengths back to Sprawl, who's racing fourth and only 3 lengths off the lead. The opening quarter's up in 24 seconds flat. There's 5 furlongs to go. And the leader is Background, still in front. Pirates Punch is still second. Silver Dust is still third. And Sprawl is still fourth. 4 furlongs remaining now. Background heading for the far turn run. Pirates Punch given a little bit more rain. Silver Dust continues on 3 wide, poised right there. And now Sprawl's coming on with a 4 wide bid with 3 furlongs to go. Midway round the far turn, Background fending off Pirates Punch. Here comes Sprawl 3 wide. Silver Dust is back into fourth. They're at the quarter pole. Pirates Punch comes on to take the lead. Pirates Punch the leader off the turn. Background fights on, but Sprawl's been waiting in the wings, and here he comes. 1 furlong to go. Pirates Punch short lead. Background fights on. Sprawl's trying to get by them. Not today for Silver Dust. 16th to go. Pirates Punch and Background. Sprawl's flattened out late. Background is determined. And Background re-rallies on Pirates Punch to win it. Sprawl and Silver Dust.
Well, this race changed dramatically mid-stretch on. It looked like Pirates Punch poised to win this, and then all of a sudden, here comes Background.
It felt like Background had been kind of left behind as Sproul made that run, and he looked like a winner. Well, he hung and finished badly. The 7 Pirates Punch looked like he had won, as you said, but Background came back, and it was the 2 horses with recency that ran 1-2 in this race. No effort from Silver Dust, and while Sproul made that move, he finished very badly in this race. Not a good sign.
Giovanni Franco, Mike Puich, Giddy Up Stables, and the biggest price on the board kicks off the card at Churchill Downs.
Getting it done on a wet track. Horse coming in from Oaklawn Park. I haven't seen, a lot of the Oaklawn horses haven't done that well since coming back, but this horse gets it done. Great performance.
We have another race taken off the turf later in the card that we're going to preview right now. It was supposed to be 1 mile 3/8 on the grass. Now it will be 1.25 miles on the main track. We're going to see the U.S. debut as well of Mikhail Michel, that French sensation, getting her first U.S. mount coming up in this spot. Teaming up with Grand Motion on the 4 in here. High Fashion, main track only runner. It's going to be a major player in here.
I would agree, and it seems like a situation where you probably want to stay away from Scarabia, who's going to get bet off a very good turf form, but I think you want to take horses that have some kind of dirt form, horses like the 2 and High Fashion as well.
This, I know you're going to be gone by this time, but you're going to go home, you're going to watch, right? You're going to tune us in?
Well, if I get home in time. The show's until 8:30. It takes me about a week to get home. My covered wagon moves very slowly through the boroughs.
Yeah, we're going to bring you this entire card coming up tonight. That is the 7th part of the Late Pick 5. Here's all we have coming up for you, presented by Claiborne Farms. So the entire card at Churchill, they're sloppying off. Horseshoe, Indianapolis, they are sloppying off as well. And Canterbury, we'll find out on the main track.
They still haven't determined yet. Let's look. Can we see from here? Through the lights?
Nope. Waiting to find out. But you'll bring your races 4 and 5 from Shaka.
How hard is it them to figure out, by the way, the track condition?
Want to do their due diligence before they make any decisions. Yeah, races 4 and 5 from out there at Canterbury. And Maggie going to be joining us a little bit later in the program. She's going to be live on site at Canterbury a little bit later on in the summer. Right now we have live on site out in Louisville. Paulie, how you doing?
Doing great, guys. I want to say a big congratulations to our colleague, Gary Stevens. The last race, I keep getting beat up by all these jockey agents. Frank Lyons beat me up when Chellis was winning, and then Gary came down and said, hey, I really need this win with Background with Giovanni Franco, who he represents, and Background came back to win. So a good ride by Giovanni. Congratulations to our colleague, Gary Stevens. A rainy day. Listen, we were supposed to get rain here in Louisville yesterday. It ended up having somewhat of showers and the sunshine came out. But then last night it really rained, Greg, most of the night. And then most of all today as well. We've had some sprinkles. It has finally stopped. We're off the turf, but I think there's some very, very good betting propositions throughout the card.
Paulie, we're one race in terms of a best bet for you. Do you have one tonight?
Yeah, I do. I really like in the 4th race, the 12-horse Ipsum Gratis. To me, it's a horse that if you go back and you look, the one good race on her card is at Churchill Downs going 7 furlongs. The sire of the horse is Include. She's by Include, Broad Brush. Andy will even tell you, going all the way back to Ack. That is some of the best off-track breeding you can get to. I think she gets a great position from the outside post. She's going to be my best bet tonight, guys.
All right, Paulie, thanks. We'll get back to you, hear from you a little bit later on in the card. I thought that one as well looked really strong in that race.
Yeah, I was interested in her. I think Champagne Sister is a little bit interesting as well for Ken McPeak, even though she's entered for the turf. I think she could be interesting dropping down in the dirt, but I don't disagree. Ipsum Gratis did look like the horse to beat to me as well.
All right, we'll get those prices from the opener. I believe 9-2, those final odds. And that first background, Giovanni Franco, Gary Stevens rider, one of his riders here for Giddy Up Stables. Mike Puich again, and the 6th career win from 19 starts for this 5-year-old.
Grit cuts it out. Really looked like going to be a distant third at this point. But the layoff horses, boy, Sproul made that run like he was going to run on by, and he did not finish well in here. Maybe he needed the race, maybe the wet track got to him, but not a good effort by him. Silver Dust obviously did not run well at all. But recency mattered, and we talk about this sometimes, and layoff horses can be tricky, especially in these cases, they were short prices.
There's only 3 rivals in there, but that's a really good group. Background just beat, returning $11 for the win. Pirates Punch, Sprawl, second and third. $35 exacta in a four-horse field.
No, the longest shot over the third biggest price. Should be the biggest exacta of all. Right?
Horseshoe, Indianapolis, off the turf, race 4, sloppy. Here we go for this 5 furlong event coming up. $25,000 maiden claiming group, and here's Intend. Speed of the field?
Yeah, this horse should be the favorite in the race. I don't understand why the 8's favored, but I thought it was the horse to beat, but has had chances.
This one actually pretty quick as well at 4-1.
The number 5, well, I love this horse in the turf. I don't know what's taken the connection so long to get back to the turf. Fortunately, got rained off, but I don't disagree. This one's a contender as well. The last race was bad.
Popster 7-2.
I didn't like Popster. Has one race though in a wet track for prior trainer that was good enough.
More pace with the 8 at 6-5.
As much as I love Tom Amos, I'm dumbfounded as to why this horse is even money in 6-5.
And 10 buried this horse last start.
Yeah, I don't like this horse at all.
And 26-1, Mr. Liberty outside. The 2 dirt starts has shown just about nothing.
Well, I think the one thing about him is he's fairly consistent. He basically does no running on any surface. They were going to give him a chance on a turf today to do no running. Unfortunately, I have to wait for another day.
Still earned over $2,000.
Shouldn't you just box like 156 here?
You can play all the races we're showing you this afternoon. This entire Belmont meeting, Saratoga this summer with Naira Bets. Get signed up started. That is the sign-up code right now. Belmont 25 for new members. Take advantage of that $200 deposit match sign-up bonus. Go to NairaBets.com or download the Naira Bets app. So the 1, the 5, the 8, we talked about all of speed in this race. And I don't get why Barone, the 8, is a 6-5 favorite. It's perplexing.
Well, this horse was a heavy favorite on the morning line in the turf, which was one of the craziest things I ever saw. It looked to me like the 1, 3, and 5 are going to be the 3 choices on the turf. And for some reason, they're betting this horse in the dirt. I really don't understand it at all. I'm going to bet a couple dollars to win the 5 and box 1-5.
Pointed out by our producer here, the power of Tom Amos barn, 45% at the meet, but it still makes off form very little sense. This 5 dropping from 50, was in a couple of maiden special weights, including one here, showed speed against better. That horse is 7-2.
It seems like the odds are very strange. I don't know what I guess it's just the incredible magnetism of Tom Amos. He's loved at all these tracks.
Star power.
Except Saratoga.
He is a grade 1 winner there.
Spoke to him the other day, actually.
Spoke to him today. There's his horse moving in. And then the long shot, Mr. Liberty. We're set 4th from Horseshoe, Indianapolis on this sloppy going 5 furlong event coming up.
The pick 5 here at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. They're in the gate. They're off. Racing 5 furlongs. Intend sprang right into action. Quickly taken on by On Your Mark, Get Set, Go, and they're joined by Barone, who strides up now for Edgar Morales with a nice offensive move. It's Barone, who tries to get position here at the 3.5 from Intend, and battling On Your Mark, Get Set, Go between horses as they round the far turn. Then we trail back to Popster, and Mr. Liberty trails the maiden quintet. The quarter was 22.51 seconds coming toward the quarter pole. It's Barone. Barone up to take the lead from On Your Mark, Get Set, Go in the green cap. Intend looking to stay this pace with that wet track rail. Popster streamed away in 4th. Mr. Liberty is last of the 5. They're in the final furlong and a half. And toward the inside, it's Intend. Intend goes shoulder to shoulder with On Your Mark, Get Set, Go as Barone now levels off and Popster charges late. They're close to home. It's Intend with the rail for Gage Holmes, and Intend repel them all. Intend by a half length to On Your Mark, Get Set, Go. Popster 3rd, then Barone and Mr. Liberty.
Intend the win, 156 here in the 4th at Horseshoe, Indianapolis, despite battling on the front end.
I mean, I don't understand. It seemed like it was supposed to be 156. The 8 took money. Now, the 1 did go off at 6-5, to be fair, but this exacta is $16, which in ostensibly a 4-horse field, because the 9 can't run at all.
Yeah.
So you play against the 8, who ended up 9-5 second choice, and you get a 6-5 over the 9-2 shot. $16 seems pretty generous. I don't know. Right?
this becoming our track?
Don't get carried away.
We're one race in.
Greg bet a $400 exacta box 1.5, and it still pays $16.
Hey, try and identify where there's value or where there's favorites getting over bet. We just found one there. We'll have those prices for you coming up in a moment. We're going to take a timeout. A lot more coming up. Just getting started on this Thursday Eve program on America's Day at the Races. We'll talk about the Derby winner, sat out the Preakness, and we'll tell you who he's waiting to tackle in the Test of the Champion in the Belmont Stakes.
Warfront. This son of Danzig ranks among the world's elite sires, ranked #1 by percentage of stakes winners, graded stakes winners, and Grade 1 winners. No stallion has a better strike rate. Recent top runners include Group 1 winner Homesman, graded stakes winners Master of Foxhounds, Ancient Rome, and Bombard. Plus Annapolis, who became his sire's 100th stakes winner. In the auction ring, his progeny continued to command top dollar. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We're back on America's Day at the Races, brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. You can follow along with our program. Stats on all the horses, trainers, and jockeys by downloading your free Equibase past performances. Go to NYRA.com/TV schedule to get involved. There's your winner, the 4th at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. Intend. 8th time out, winning effort for this 5-year-old.
Inside speed. And it's interesting watching the race. They were trying on the turf. This horse actually has pretty good turf pedigree. I think the rider was just sort of patient on the inside, came back to get it done. The 8, who looked briefly like he was going to make us look foolish for knocking him, just had no horse whatsoever. And the speeds were pretty much able to run around the racetrack. A little bit of a run from the 6 at the end, but Intend gets it done.
156 finish, that $2 exacta, $16.60 for the 1-5 combo.
Seems like incredibly generous, doesn't it?
It does.
But $33 to try.
Michelle Elliott, Just for Fun stable.
A lot of women involved. Farron Peterson riding the 5 on your market. Let's get set go. Not familiar with the rider in the 1 though.
Yeah, Gage Holmes on board for the winning ride. 5th race. Look at the current odds here. 6 furlongs, main track, state bred maiden special. And 6-5, Z's Lucky Girl. 0 for 7, but 7 for 7 in the money. Been a disappointing favorite on several occasions.
I know. This is the kind of horse that you really kind of don't want to bet on, right? But supposed to win. And I mean, look at the horse who's the 2-1 second choice right now, Palomas Pass. Was beaten 26 lengths in her only start. And that was a year and a half ago. It's like, where are you supposed to go in this race if you don't take Z's Lucky Girl? I guess the 2, right? Yeah. Who's sort of, the 2 is kind of like a dressed down firster in a way, right? Could be speed, too.
Yep, good point. We'll get back to that race in a moment. A reminder, third and final leg of the Triple Crown. Post time's just announced, by the way, as well. Going to be at, 3 o'clock start on Thursday, Belmont Week?
3:05, 3 o'clock, 3:05, yeah.
Tickets on sale for Belmont Stakes Day. Go to BelmontStakes.com. It's going to be capped at $50,000, and we're getting close, 2.5 weeks away.
It's going to be some incredible races that day, when you think about, and not just the Belmont Stakes, Latruska going against Malathot and Search Results, making their first race together, and there's so much to look forward to in that day.
Stands out on this list of who Rich Strike is going to face in the Belmont when you look at it?
All of them.
Anything?
Well,
maybe nothing.
I think We the People. Here's the question: Mo Donegal probably the favorite over We the People. I'm going to guess. I don't believe Nest is going to run. I know that it was mentioned is going to run. She'll get her head handed to her here. I'd be very surprised. I think Todd would probably like to run Mother Goose. I also won't be surprised if it grows a little bit. And I think early voting would beat this field by 10. I think early.
That's Andy's opinion.
She'll get crushed.
Okay. Rich Strike. This was incredible. Second biggest upset in the history of the Kentucky Derby. What reasons do you think he could reproduce this in the Belmont?
Well, I don't think if he was going to reproduce this effort, I think that Preakness was the right race for him. Because I don't think his running style is going to be conducive to the Belmont Stakes, a race which usually more forward horses dominate. It doesn't have a particularly strong pace, and it's tough to make those big runs. So honestly, I think the Preakness was probably the right race for him. I think if you want to be optimistic about him, your general feeling is he hadn't run in the dirt in a long, long time. And yes, he was running slow figures in the dirt, but maybe he's not a sprinter, and maybe he was an immature 2-year-old. He was gradually improving on synthetic, but maybe all along the dirt was the surface he belonged on. And yes,
no, go ahead.
He got a wicked pace to close into, but he outclosed Mo Donegal. He outclosed Barber Road, and they're not bad horses, and he outclosed them. So it's not like, yes, the trip was right, but he ran this horse. So maybe he's just a completely different horse. And I think the Preakness would have been a better race to find that out, and that's all.
But Connection said he's just not right in that quick of a comeback, so they wanted to give him more time. We'll see. We know, obviously, even the way he trains at Churchill, he just looks sensational. Paul LaDuca, your thoughts on the Derby winner heading into this third and final leg of the Triple Crown?
It's sort of like rolling the dice. I'm kind of with Andy. Like, when you come to the Belmont, a dead drop closer is really what you don't want to be. I mean, but when you do look at back history of some of the upsets, you look at Mind That Bird, who was a giant upset, who came rolling up the rail, ran a giant Preakness. If you go back and you look, was second to Rachel Alexandria. I understand that was not one of the greatest fields. You go back to Giacomo, obviously he ran a average third, but still he was able to hit the board in the Preakness. So I sort of agree with Andy that maybe going to the Preakness might have helped a little bit. It could have maybe swallowed up third. But I do know this, that when Eric Reed was thinking about claiming this horse, the only reason Joe Sharp started this horse was because he knew that this horse wanted to run all day. And that's why Eric claimed this horse when they moved the horse to the dirt. They started the horse on the turf going 2 turns. They went around 2 turns here at Churchill Downs. The horse loves it here. Now he's going to have to be able to love it at Belmont Park. He is training unbelievable. They are not worried about the distance. The worry is he fast enough to win? That's just the bottom line.
We're going to find out soon enough. You even think, I mean, it's a moot point. He didn't run in the race. It's over. It's done. But that 24 and change opening quarter, do you think he would have been?
Well, there's no run-up. There's no run-up at Pimlico. And if you use Timeform U.S. pace figures, which I believe in very strongly, that pace was on the fast side of normal. It was it wasn't a blistering pace, but it was a quick pace.
Going to be fun to watch him back in action and see if he's more than a one-hit wonder. I mean, you're right. I mean, he outran a lot of the other horses with that same kind of style. That a horse you mentioned might be the favorite.
Right, I agree. I mean, I don't want to knock him because he did perform well. Yeah, was he maybe third best? Yes, but he wasn't seventh best. You know what I mean? He ran.
Hearns went by. His best effort was on synthetic. Here's the 3 congrats to me.
I thought Congrats to Me was a player in this race along with Hearns, and it's kind of an overlay. I mean, his first race really isn't that bad relative to these.
East of India, big drop.
Big drop for Matt Shire. Maiden special, maiden clear in the dirt, 0 for 8. 6 of them were short prices. None hit the board. How about that?
Wow. Lake Tahoe, Ron Moquette has hit the board once in 7 starts.
Tommy Hearns, East of India. We're going to Lake Tahoe. This is like a
Love
real
Lake
trip
Tahoe.
everywhere. Never been. beautiful,
Oh,
right?
got to get there one day.
Yeah.
Used to go as a kid. 12-1, Make My Own Luck, dropping out of a state-bred maiden special in Arkansas.
Yeah, it's just nice to have an Arky bred in here, Greg.
Yeah.
You know, it makes us feel at home.
You know I love Garhole.
It's a better Arky. There's another good Arky bred around. I was going to tell you.
Wayland Springs.
Yeah, right. I was going to say there's a better one. Yeah.
Easy with better. Joyful Candy coming off a race in the slop at Churchill.
I like this horse. I thought he should be favored in here. I know it was wet last time, but he's dropping down. I thought he was the horse to beat. 5-2. I'm betting him.
Did you just take a shot at my favorite horse?
No, I was just going to say I was looking at the Wayland Springs. I was
No, he
looking
won a
at that
stake
race
against
at
Open
Pimlico,
Company, yeah.
and I was going to text you, and I was going to say to you there might be a better Arky bred.
No, he's been good,
he's
hasn't he?
a good horse. I mean, he had no real chance at Pimlico because that track was especially the sprints was tough to close.
This is the biggest price on the board. This horse looks sensational. Congrats to me. It's done no running whatsoever, though. It's almost impossible to endorse.
Well, I mean, his first race. For a first race, is 43 Beyer. Does it really make him impossible in here? I'm not in love with him, but I don't think he's impossible. I like the 7. I think the 7's supposed to be. I don't even think 2-1's a bad price in the 7.
Meanwhile, here's the favorite. So this is Hearns. You see that debut, synthetic at Turfway, beat 3 parts of a length. Actually had the lead in the stretch, and then he gets on dirt off a long time. A few months rest. And he doesn't really run at all.
Yeah, and Norm claimed him. Norm Cassio has him. Claimed him for 20,000, and now he's in for 10,000. So they're all sort of negatives. And speaking, Norm Cassio, he might have run the best horse that ran all weekend. That Quick, the horse of Mary Lou Whitney's that won the Lair Dupont the day before. Got a 107 Beyer.
107.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think she might go to the Fleur de Lis. She was incredible. Quick. We've seen her run a few times. Speedball. She ran off the screen. Happy for Norm. Hope she runs
Norm,
big
yeah.
and we see her in the personal ensign. That would be awesome.
Well, this one, tough to trust off that Keeneland race.
I'd rather take the 7 at the same price. Dropping down, back to the same level. The horse ran a 60 Beyer. Feels like a 60 Beyer might lap this field, doesn't it?
Yes. And does the slop race, which was probably his worst, I know numbers-wise it wasn't.
He might have also just been over his head, right?
Okay. It was made in 30.
Yeah, I mean.
But, yeah, struggled on a sloppy track last time out. So that was my question.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it wasn't the slop, and I'm gonna hope it wasn't because I'm thinking 2-1. He's kind of a good bet, but I'm not. It's just I have trouble endorsing the 2. Why would I want to bet him off that race last time? I'm not saying he can't win, but his only good race was the race on synthetic, not on dirt. And I'll tell you what, I don't understand why the 3 is 17-1.
Yeah, well, beat 42 lengths, dead last in the most recent start. It was against Better for 20. And then, 42 Beyer in a race where he was 8th of 11, beat almost 12 lengths. Was a step slow out of the gate, taken up at the start. I love the way he looked. I'll say that.
I just look at his first race in a maiden 20, and speed figure wasn't step slow. Had trouble to start. I mean, I didn't watch the race, to be honest, but better horses. Obviously, last time was a disaster, so that's a little bit of a concern. It's not like, I mean, the 5 horses 5-2. I guess his race 2 back, but he did lose it 4-5 at this level at Oaklawn. And you and I are pretty familiar with those maiden 10s at Oaklawn. I'm not saying there are any good, particularly strong horses in here, but those races could get pretty hungry, to say the least. He also doesn't really have any speed.
Super quick, by the way.
Super quick, thank you.
Let's get Paul LaDuca's thoughts on race 2 here at Churchill.
Yeah, real quick, guys. I was able to catch up with trainer Norm Cassio and I asked him, listen, why the claim and why the blinkers on? He felt that he showed good speed first time out, did Hearns, and he thought maybe he would come back and run a lot better, and obviously it did not work out. Now, the drop for 20, in for 10, I asked him, why are the blinkers going on? Just to sort of wake him up. Does not really know what happened in his last race. He came back to the barn in completely fine shape. He also did tell me, and take this with a grain of salt, that you know, he sort of got rushed into this race. He wanted to sort of wait and maybe geld this horse, but this race came up, and maybe they thought that they could fit in this race. So maybe Hearns is a little vulnerable or not.
All right, we'll see how he runs here in a second chance on dirt. It's sloppy today, and this will be the lowest level he's run at yet. By the way, Super Quick was in reference. That was the Norm Cassie runner that Andy had said won that Allaire DuPont Distaff on Black Eyed Susan Day. 107 Beyer.
107 Beyer. Won by 14 3/4 lengths. She ran a hole in the wind.
For Norm Cassie. Well done. So Norm Cassie's Hearns, the inside post. See if those blinkers on do wake him up here. Son of Jimmy Creed. Travis Stone, the call to kick off the pick 4.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Joyful Candy caught a flyer from that outside post quickly in front. Lake Tahoe comes on through now. Here's Lake Tahoe on through to the front. Joyful Candy runs in second. East of India comes away third. Hearns advancing toward the inside in fourth. Make My Own Luck is 3 lengths farther back in fifth. The early trailer is Congrats to Me, 6 lengths off the lead. Down the backstretch run, Lake Tahoe skitters clear by 2 with 4 furlongs to go. Hearns comes through toward the inside, a narrow opening at the rail, but Lake Tahoe holds that spot and angles back down toward the inside. East of India takes over second. Hearns is back into third. Make My Own Luck is racing fourth. Joyful Candy broke on top, but is back into fifth. It's a long way back to Congrats to Me. They whipped the quarter in 21 and 2. They're at the quarter pole, and Lake Tahoe, tethered to the fence off the turn, leads by 3. Lake Tahoe, the one to catch. East of India, full out. Hearns, full out. Make My Own Luck, full out with 1 furlong to go. It's still Lake Tahoe. Now the lead is 4. Lake Tahoe in front. East of India is battling on. Hearns and Make My Own Luck, but they're coming down to the finish. And gate to wire, it's Lake Tahoe. Winning by 4, East of India, Hearns, and Make My Own Luck.
Son of Oxbow on the off track. Lake Tahoe, 8th time out. The win run. Moquette, Julian LePeroux team up.
Basically a winner every step of the way. The 7 broke well. The 7 can't handle the track. You were right. It wasn't just, it was the wet track last time. The wet track kept today. So just can't handle it at all. Lake Tahoe got in front. Nobody ever had a chance.
This race looked over early. And Lake Tahoe pours it on in the stretch. 5-4-2 here in the second from Churchill. Bloom Racing with this 3-year-old Son of Oxbow of a Pulpit Mare Frostbite. Or Ron Moquette here in the second. So this horse just really appreciated the off-going, it looked like in here. And well, final odds, did you see him?
5-2, I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
We're going to take a timeout. 3-1, actually, I believe, on the 5. We'll have the prices, nevertheless, when we come back. Early voting. I know someone who saw it firsthand. Taking the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. Every 5 years, book it. Chad Brown and Klarovich Stables in the Preakness. We'll be back to review it right after this.
Introducing a stallion, as top class as they come. In 22 career starts, he won or placed in 12 graded stakes, competing in 15 grade ones, earning over $1.7 million. His undisputed speed is evidenced by 7 100-plus Beyer speed figures, a 3-time grade 1 winner, Raging Bull.
Who you betting on? How about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions and offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.
We take pride in what we do.
I'm an assistant trainer.
Carpenter.
I'm a peace officer.
I'm a jockey.
I'm a gardener.
I'm a groom.
I love what I do.
We are New York Racing. New York Racing helps support my small business.
It's extremely important to the New York economy.
This is like a big family.
We are New York Horse Racing.
New for Belmont Spring, the $3 triple play pick 3. Choose the winners of the last 3 races at Belmont Park every Sunday to win big. Plus, play on Naira Bets for a free $10 triple play bet. Go to Naira.com/triple play for details.
We're back on America's Day at the Races on FS2, brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Back at Churchill. Lake Tahoe, Ron Moquette, Bloom Racing. David Burns and Julian Leperoux team up for the victory.
And this was an easy one. If you had this one, it was never in doubt. I did not.
Does Gary Stevens get residuals anytime an Oxbow wins?
Probably not.
Won the Preakness, of course, on Oxbow. On the front end the entire way. This is Son of Oxbow getting it done. On the front end, sprinting here in the offgoing. A little bit lesser competition than the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. Wins for 10 maiden claiming.
No.
$8.40 for the win. 5-4-2 in the second from Churchill to begin the early pick 4 sequence. Third race. 5 furlongs. It's a maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies, in every single one lining up in this race. It's their debut here coming up. Even money on the entry. Did you understand why?
Not really. They must be betting the one. I guess they could bet either one. You've got Mike Maker. Probably. There's not a lot of pedigree. Isn't the one that has the best pedigree, the $200,000 Wheeling purchase, the number 5, Mo Bonita, going out for Steve Asmussen?
4 to 5 on the entry, though. Yeah. We'll get back to that race in a moment. We head back to Horseshoe, Indianapolis. And the 5th race. Look at the current odds. Here's Eulalia. State bred, maiden special weight, 6 furlong sprint, 7-2 here.
Has no speed and isn't very good, but might be the second likeliest winner if the 3 doesn't win somehow.
Paloma's Pass, just that one start back in 2020, brief speed and backed up.
I'd rather take the flyer with this one than the 1 if I wanted to bet against the 3.
Beaten favorite on 3 occasions and now favored again, the 3.
I mean, this horse has incinerated money like nothing, but now is finding herself in a field where, I don't know, Greg, it's hard to beat. You got a trainer, though, that's 0 for 1 for 21 this year.
Never going to get a better chance to win, it would seem. Yeah, the 4 went by. Here's Indy Lights, the 5. Shown very little in 2 starts.
Well, I think if you add up all the buyer figures of the 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 2, it doesn't equal the worst figure that Z's Lucky Girl has ever run,
that's a good
Greg.
point.
I mean, it's pretty incredible, right?
Wow, the 7 who just went by has beat 1 horse combined in 3 starts.
How do you think that horse feels?
Still made a little bit of money. Has almost earned half what they paid for the filly.
Well, you're right. Yep. Indiana breds. I feel like we're really being exposed to a lot of breeding programs this year, Greg, you and I.
It's good to throw in a new track here every now and then. We're getting that opportunity tonight. Canterbury, Horseshoe, Indy. And want to remind everyone who's playing with Naira Bets, get signed up, started. If you're not a member, great time to sign up now. Get that $25 free Belmont bet and a $200 deposit match bonus with that code right there, Belmont25. Go to NairaBets.com, download the Naira Bets app. It's going, look, I'm so excited. There's some good storylines going into this Belmont Stakes. going to be tough to top last year.
No,
but there's
right.
still some very good storylines.
There are, and the Belmont Stakes is always a fun race. It's a very important race. Each Triple Crown race is important, but also when you think about the race we're going to see, the potential matchup between Flightline and Speaker's Corner, which is on, the Breeders' Cup Sprint winner, Aloha West, is going to be in that race as well. Latruska running against Malathot and Search Results, who haven't met since they ran 1-2 in the Kentucky Oaks last year, and probably Pauline's Pearls, who was very impressive, winning the Grade 1 La Triana Derby Day. That's a tremendous matchup of horses. All horses that I don't believe that Latruska's, well, Malathot was against Latruska in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, but that was a weird race. Manhattan, but there's so many other races. The Just a Game, huge. The Woody Stevens, Jack Christopher, expected for the Woody Stevens. I mean, 8 Grade 1s, including the Belmont Stakes on that day. It's going to be an amazing day of racing. Weekend
I would love to hear, and he's had a few days to let it sink in, who Chad Brown believes his best 3-year-old is right now.
I think that, and I haven't talked to him about it, but I think he may have to come to terms with the possibility that early voting is the best one. Now, Jack Christopher might be the most talented. The question is he going to be the most talented in the longer distance races? Yeah. I think between Xander and early voting, you're confident that they can handle the Travers distance. Is Jack Christopher a horse going to excel mile-ish? That type, which is nothing wrong with that.
Both Zandon and your Preakness winner early voting skipping the Belmont. They're targeting Haskell, Jim Dandy to prep for the Travers?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a good chance. I don't know that we'll see early voting in both the Jim Dandy and Travers. Early voting ran a 105 Beyer. It's the fastest Beyer speed figure that anybody, a 3-year-old, has run this year. I think the horse got a 0 on the thoroughgraphs.
I don't know.
I saw the thoroughgraph for him, and I believe it was a 0. You're more familiar with those than I am, but is that as good a number? Anybody
best number I've seen. Yeah, best number of a 3-year-old this year, yeah.
So the thoroughgraphs would agree with Beyer. I mean, the horse has raced 4 times, and the thing you have to love about him is every single race has been better than the one before it, no matter what speed figure you're looking at.
I'll correct that. Taba did run that number in his second start of his career.
Taba's a freak show, but who knows when we'll ever see him again.
Exactly.
If they had worked back from the Travers, you'd be scared of him, that's for sure.
John Dooley, the call, race 5, Horseshoe, Indianapolis. Can Z's Lucky Girl, the 3, finally break through? Favored again.
So this maiden fillies mare sprint all in line. And they're off. Adam Up Justice. There goes the gray favorite, Z's Lucky Girl. And Aaron's Little May starts a bid now for Andrea Rodriguez. It's Aaron's Little May who dashed to the front from Z's Lucky Girl, who tracks. And they're joined by Paloma's Pass now, who moves through underneath of the favorite after the first furlong and a half, where Aaron's Little May is the overall leader. Andy Lights, fourth and kept close there by Eddie Perez. Then a gap away to Adam Up Justice, who's out deep on the track. And to the inside is Eulalia, who's running second to last and beaten for pace. Red Rosebush is a long-looking last. The quarter sloppy track here, 23.17 seconds inside 3 furlongs to go. It's Aaron's Little May who leads Z's Lucky Girl, who's starting to narrow the margin, coming toward the quarter pole. Aaron's Little May, 2 up from Z's Lucky Girl. Indy Light straightens away a wide third. And then Eulalia, Paloma's Pass. We trail back then to Adam Up Justice, and Red Rosebush has trailed into the stretch. Half mile in 46.85 seconds. Z's Lucky Girl descends on Aaron's Little May and swap pass for Deshaun Parker. It's Z's Lucky Girl who's slipping away now from Aaron's Little May. Eulalia's running on, then Indy Lights and Paloma's Pass. Z's Lucky Girl out to the maiden ranks by 5. Eulalia gains second, Aaron's Little May third, and Indy Lights finish fourth.
For a moment, this looked like a shocker that the closest Aaron's Little May, the 6, so the lead going into the stretch, had ever been was 9th, beat 9 lengths. That was last time out.
Well, as you said, Randy Klopp, second off the layoff, is often a good angle. When we were discussing what racetracks to show, I'm just going to say Eric Donovan works with us, said, we could see Z Lucky's Girl break her maiden today. How can we not show Horseshoe Indianapolis? And good call by Eric.
1-2. She gets it done after 3 times failing as the favorite. Some short prices as well mixed in there when she wasn't the favorite. Finds got to be the easiest field she has ever tackled, and she was dominant here.
I got to think she probably breathed a big sigh of relief when she got to the finish line first. Wow.
Start number 8. 5-year-old mare gets it done for Stephen Fosdick. Deshaun Parker aboard for the victory at odds on 1-2, I believe. Final odds.
Correct.
On your favorite in that 5th from Horseshoe Indy. We are going to take a timeout. We still have that maiden special weight 5 furlong 2-year-old filly sprint coming up when we return. Steve Asmussen, Mo Bonita. Right now 3-1 the entry. That price keeps getting shorter and shorter. 3-5 now on Towhead and Le Bon Temps. The 1 and 1A. We'll take a look at the field when we come back.
Idol perfectly timed. Idol gets up under Joel Rosario to win the big gap. It's Noon Agenda for St. Elias Stable.
Race and the race. Scintillating performance in the TVG Delmar debutante.
And Clariere will win the cotillion.
Down to the wire. Who's going to win it? It's Mala by a neck.
Curling, the classic sire.
We're back on America's Day at the Races on FS2. Good to have you with us. Program brought to you in part by Naira Bets, where you can play it all, including the third and final leg of the Triple Crown coming up. Belmont Stakes. Get signed up and started. Download the app or go to nairabets.com. Back at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. Today was the day for Z's Lucky Girl. Finally finding a field she could handle. 5-year-old mare making the 8th start of her career, been the beaten favorite in 3 of those 7 starts. And it looked dicey here heading into the stretch.
Yeah, there was a moment there when she kind of ducked in a little bit. You said, not a kind of horse I want to get into a dogfight, but Aaron's little May kind of remembered who she was, and it was over in the blink of an eye.
Again, Stephen Fosdick to Sean Parker. And Blaine Davidson, your winning connections. 5-year-old mare by Z Lucky. 8th time out. She's never been off the board, but she's finally getting her picture taken.
Model of consistency.
2 seconds, 5 thirds, and now a win. And wow, even with her closing out at 1-2, pick 3 comes back $109 for 2.
It's been a big price in the first leg, right?
Had to be. All right, middle jewel of the Triple Crown. This man was there. Going into the race, no Kentucky Derby winner. Few horses, including your winner, decided to skip the Derby, just like they did 5 years ago with Cloud Computing. Wait and get the win that pays off again.
Yeah, you just sort of have to wonder at some point if some connections are going to take a step back and think maybe we don't have to hurry into the Derby, and maybe waiting for the Preakness isn't a bad idea. It worked for these connections before, and it worked again with early voting. It's got a lot of speed. Chad Brown has been insisting to me that he believes the horse can be better with a target. Now, I said to him, you hate being on the lead. And he said, I agree, I do. So I was always circumspect of it, but he insisted it would be the case, and he and Jose Ortiz pulled it off masterfully. And honestly, I was rooting for this horse. I bet him. I'm friends with the connections. He looked like a winner every step of the way. He really seemed to be in command. You know, it's interesting. I know Joel Rosario's gotten a lot of criticism for his ride. I'm not in that camp. I wonder if a little bit the fact that they've been teaching him at a rate has dulled that speed he has a little bit. Because he didn't have any trouble out of the gate. He just was a little bit slow.
It was a little bit slow, and he got squeezed, and the door got shut on him.
The door got shut because he wasn't fast enough to get the spot.
No, that's true. But he was a little slow out of the gate.
But a microsecond slow. The reality is that Joel Rosario realized that he was in a tougher spot, and so he does what he always does, which is, I'm going to have to do something to try. Yeah. No, I know, to mitigate the circumstance. I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm not saying Joel in any way.
Right, Joel got him on the rail, which was a very good place to be all day. He saved around every step of the way, and he got a little jammed up around the 3/8, 7/16 pole. He had to wait for time. Let's compare it to the trip that Secret Oath had. Now, she got a little more harshly squeezed early in the stretch, but she ended up making this huge, wide, premature move, which gave her no chance. At least in Joel's case, he did everything he could to mitigate any kind of early problems and gave his horse his best chance to win.
And yet, trainer not very happy with him.
Listen, if I'm Steve Asmussen after that race, I don't have the hair that Steve has, but I'm pulling it out. Because you feel like you ran the best horse in the Derby. You're frustrated by the way the thing went in the Preakness, and whether it's Joel's fault or not, horse players, trainers, we all jump on the jockeys right away, and you're just frustrated. I can understand Steve's frustration.
It's tough to talk to him right after the race, probably. And
I mean, he feels like he could be going for the Triple Crown in 3 weeks, and he has every right to feel that way. So him being frustrated is natural. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and I'm sure he had some time to step back. And the other thing is, people say they should take Joel Rosario off him. Okay. Who exactly should they be putting on that's going to be a better rider than Joel Rosario? Nobody.
Yeah. Saw a list of, it's going to be a fun summer, the 3-year-old races that remain on this New York circuit. Obviously, the big one out there, almost that 4th Triple Crown race, is the Travers. Jim Dandy is a prep for it. We could see a lot of these runners from both legs of the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown meeting up at the Travers this summer.
And I love that there's this big fight between people who think Epicenter should have won, people who think that early voting was best, because they're going to meet again. And that's great for the game to have this rivalry going on that the fans are involved in too, and we all have a little bit of a stake in it, and that just makes it all the more exciting.
Back at Churchill, coming onto the track, these 2-year-old fillies still odds on the entry in here. Mike Maker's towhead, the straight one. Here she is, daughter of Malibu Moon. She has that bullet gate drill coming in.
I wonder if these horses are partly a short price, A, because of an entry, 2 for the price of 1, but also because the 5 isn't as bet as heavily as she could be. This one is a half to 2 foals, didn't do much running, though the dam was okay in the dirt.
The 1A La Bon Tom. Grand Dam was a stakes winner on dirt and turf.
Yeah, but I mean, the dam was unraced. 1 foal didn't do any running. Do love the Lau bands, but I don't know.
Fun Money. Dam winner only start 4.5 furlong sprint at Santa Anita.
A homebred. Are you familiar with the sire? Mirazek?
Doug O'Neill actually trained both the sire and the dam.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Chiquita Mosca, first time out, daughter of Commissioner.
Yeah, I mean, 5,500 for this horse. Dam wasn't that good. First foal. Turf, the second family.
And Mo Bonita, Steve Asmussen, a 2-1.
This would be my choice. $200,000 weanling, Uncle Mo. The sire was proficient on dirt and turf, though one foal from the dam ran well in the dirt.
Catherine Blaze by Cross Traffic, Whitney winner.
Oh, he's rooting for my man Ray Lou. I saw Ray Lou at the Preakness. He said he's going to win the Belmont.
I like it.
I promptly ran away from him.
Frango Electrico, Taurus debuter on the outside.
$4,000 yearling purchase for this one. We'll see, owned train.
Yeah, real quick, back to, you asked me about the sire, the 2.
Yeah.
Actually won his debut.
Okay.
Multiple stakes winner and was graded stakes placed.
We have somebody who works behind the scenes in the show that is a huge fan of the sire, Square Eddie.
Oh, okay.
Bailey loves Square Eddie.
Well, Fun Money, 5-1 right now, but it has been odds-on favoritism just about throughout with this entry, and this is the part of the entry that, again, has that bullet drill coming in. Maybe it's Tyler Gaffley, 2 for 1, as you mentioned with the entry. Tyler Gaffleone on the 1. Let's check in with Paul LaDuca for more.
Yeah, guys, this entry obviously looks formidable with Tyler Gaffleone and Michael Maker, obviously, and Norm Cassie and Florent Giroux. Both horses come in working. Actually, their last 2 works have been very, very fast, especially with the straight 1. The 1A to me, Les Bons Temps for Norm Cassie. When I talked to Norm about his other horse, I asked him about his filly in the next race. He said she's very quick out of the gate. She's a very, very good gate horse, so look for her to maybe show some speed. And the Maker horse as well, too. I mean, she showed good speed out of the gate last time. The 5 was a little bit chilly on the board, Mo Bonita for Steve Asmussen, but now has been starting to get bet. The horse that's been sort of sneakily getting bet on the board is Fun Money. 2-year-old filly by Mrazek. You were talking about Doug O'Neill. This is basically a California breeding over and over out of a lucky pulpit mare. So this is speed on speed. She looked very, very tiny, as in she had like a little bit of an edge, and she looks like a sprinter, and she's taking a little bit of sneaky money. So I'm going to take a little bit of a chance here. The 1's going to be tough to get off the board here, this entry. So I would box 1, 2 in here and take a little bit of a stand against the 5, but nothing much here. I think the 2's going to run a big race for Rusty Arnold, who's having a giant meet so far, guys.
Paulie, thanks. Yeah, Rusty Arnold, trainer of the 2, Fun Money, who gets the rail, winning it close to 30% at this Churchill Downs meet. Well, everyone debuting, mixing an off track as well for 2-year-old fillies going 5 furlongs. And these are not easy races to handicap.
No, but they're fun races to watch because we could conceivably see these horses in Saratoga. A horse who wins this race could be in the Schuylerville, could be in Adirondack. You've got Norm Cassie in here. You've got Mike Maker. You've got Steve Asmussen. Rusty Arnold could come as well. And
by the way, last year's Schuylerville winners developed pretty nicely. There's a 3-year-old for Norm Cassie.
She ran super. She was second behind the horse who I believe will be taking on Echo Zulu in the Acorn, which we didn't talk about. That Acorn could be very strong with Echo Zulu in there. And I can't. Who's the name of the winner? The Brad Cox horse. Got a funny. Yeah, I'm getting old too. Regardless, I don't think Pretty Bird will stretch to a mile, but you got to think Norm would like to get her the test. Maybe we'll see her in the victory ride. I agree. She's been good.
Yeah.
She backed up that Oaklawn race where she ran huge there. I'm glad to see Norm doing well with those horses.
Yep.
A couple horses for Mary Lou, too.
Yeah, Mary Lou Whitney, Sable Silks.
Keeping Mary Lou's name alive. Gotta love it.
Well, can one of these fillies impress here in the debut here? Minute to post coming up. And as you mentioned, potentially could see one at a stake at Saratoga this summer as we take a look at the 5 Mo Bonita. Uncle Mo filly, Steve Asmussen, Heilig Broats. He'll have Brian Hernandez Jr. aboard.
So is she chilly on the board? Expensive yearling. Good pedigree, Uncle Mo, Steve Asmussen. Is the entry short, or is the entry just taking so much money that it's making it hard for anybody to be that short?
I think that might be it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's all guessing on my part. I obviously, like you, have no information in here. Is the 2 taking money, or does somebody else have to take a little bit of money? Don't know.
Now, Mo Bonita, who you're looking at, this 5, showed a 48 flat gate draw at Keeneland, the most recent work. Second quickest to 31 that morning. This barn doesn't usually work them super quick.
No, it's exactly right. You could see him coming 36-1 back in April. No idea. Without a workout report, I wouldn't be able to know to guess. I like the dam as a Bo Genius. You don't see too many Bo Geniuses anymore. But you've seen a foal from this dam. One was okay in the turf. One was solid in the dirt. Like I said, the dam ran a 95 buyer on dirt, 91 buyer on the turf. She was okay. So that would be where I would go, but Paulie didn't seem to be too interested in this horse. He said he was going to bet against this
the entry looked imposing, yeah.
I just feel like the entry, one of them can run, and they're betting on them both. So you're just getting bad value. It's not likely, and they might run 1-2, but it's not likely.
Post 5 for the 1 toe head. Post 6 right next door to Le Bon Temps.
You love saying that, Le Bon Temps.
Relay. Post time coming up. This starts, by the way, the Derby City 6 on this Thursday evening card. 5 furlongs for these debuting 2-year-old fillies. Let's go to Travis Stone.
There in the gate. Toe head fractious. And the rough. Le Bon Temps with a good start, so too Fun Money and Mo Bonita between them, and Frango Electrico from the far outside up the backstretch, and it's Fun Money fastest out of there. Mo Bonita's going to keep the pressure on, though, and these two speed off, going 1-2. Le Bon Temps's on the chase from third. Frango Electrico is fourth, though, heads back into fifth, and then it's Chiquita Mosca in sixth, and Catherine Blaze the trailer in seventh. 3 furlongs to go. Fun Money's in front. Mo Bonita hounding intently on the outside. Le Bon Temps's not far behind in third. Frango Electrico on the far outside in fourth. At the quarter pole, Fun Money and Mo Bonita shoulder to shoulder off the turn. Fun Money's short lead. Mo Bonita's right there. Le Bon Temps switched outside for the final furlong. Towhead's coming boldly up the rail. Eighth pole, Mo Bonita, Fun Money, Le Bon Temps. Towhead's coming down the inside. 16th pole, it is Le Bon Temps in front, but Towhead continues to close. Here's the wire. Le Bon Temps got it. Holding off over entry mate Towhead. Farther back, Fun Money was third.
Entry 1-2, and early on in this race, it didn't look good for either of them.
I knew when I said it's unlikely they run 1-2 that they would run 1-2. It didn't. I mean, the one didn't look to do any running, came scooting up the rail and almost got it done. Le Bon Temps was in a drive literally the entire race and ran them down, but I think it helped that Mo Bonita, who looked like a winner briefly coming the eighth pole, didn't even end up getting by the two Fun Money and finished fourth. Fun Money ended up running third in here. Probably a combination of those horses not being that good and the entry running well in here, and two firsters that came from well back.
The one up the rail, the 1A, wide trip, and the 1A gets the win, but not much separating these two. But big effort from the 1A considering the difference of those two trips, no?
Yeah, no, I agree. Morton Cassidy's horses continue to run well. This is at least his fourth win at the meet, with most of the, hitting the board with first 1-2 with well more than half of them.
Paul LaDuca, this entry impressive here to kick off this Derby City 6.
Yeah, really, really impressive. They blew by the 2 and the 5 like they were standing still. I do want to note something real quick, guys. The first race, we saw the 1 come back on the rail. We did see the 2 best horses win this race, but the 2 re-rallied on the 5, and the 5 had the 2 put away on the rail. So maybe the rail is the place you want to be. Obviously, this race, the entry was much the best, but the 2 Fun Money was able to re-rally on Mo Bonita on the rail. I thought the 2 in the last race was able to stay in the race because she was on the rail as well. So maybe that's something to look forward to the next 5 races, guys.
All right, Paulie, we'll keep an eye on things. Now this track's playing 4-5 on the entry here in the third at Churchill. We're going to take a timeout. Coming up this weekend here in New York, Christophe Clement going to send out a 3-pronged attack in the Soaring Softly, led by Darian Ain, making her second start off the bench as a 3-year-old.
Pouring it on here in the stretch. Impressive to win the Grade 2 Vosburg. Following C.
Smile Happy has kicked it into high gear. And Smile Happy with a powerful performance wins by 2.5.
The Club champion Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Now more than ever, it's time to get with the program because New York breds start with an advantage. New York breds run for serious green. At Belmont and Saratoga, New York bred maidens run for up to $75,000 and allowance horses for up to $85,000. And serious New York bred owners can collect awards of up to $20,000 per horse per race in open company. So get back with the program. Seriously.
Union Rags, proving Lane's End's tried and true stallion making formula. A formula that leads to success for our partners and our stallions. He's a leader in his sire crop by graded stakes winners and Grade 1 winners. He's a commercial standout with multiple $1 million sales and a 6-figure yearling average. And with 4 full books bred at $50,000 and $60,000, he has even more exciting progeny in the pipeline. Union Rags, a stallion that stands above the rest.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Good to have you with us on this Thursday evening from racing at Churchill Downs, Canterbury, and Horseshoe, Indianapolis as well. Third at Churchill, start of the Derby City 6, Le Bon Temps, Norm Cassie, Florent Giroux, Deuce Greathouse winning connections. Loud Band Philly winning first time out.
We'll miss Loud Band standing in New York, left New York. He has gone way too soon. Terrific.
Jim Dandy winner, right?
Sounds right.
At a big, big price. And this daughter of Lauban taking the wide trip. Entry mate got the rail trip. And they run 1-2.
So maybe they were betting them both, Greg.
4 to 5, $3.60 for the win. Fun money. Essentially second for your exacta. And that pick 3. Wow. With a 4 to 5. Was that
the first winner?
Background was 9 to 2.
Still longest shot in a 4-horse field. What was the second winner?
Lake Tahoe?
Well,
$3 to 1.
$8.
It's pretty generous, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but the parlay was about $50 going into it.
Okay.
So.
Fourth at Churchill was scheduled for the grass. Mile and a 16th off the turf now. 30,000 claiming race. Non-winners at 2. Paul LaDuca talked about this race at the top of the program. He mentioned Ipsum Gratis as his best bet of the day. That's a main track only that draws into the race for Thomas Van Berg.
I can't argue with that by Paul. I think she is the horse to beat. I thought Champagne Sister might be a price that's worth using in the race, though.
Has not been on a sloppy track, has been on an off track. Wound up second in that race, but that was good that day, and very different track we're dealing with this afternoon. No two off tracks the same. So we'll get back to that fourth at Churchill coming up in a moment. Got more from Horseshoe, Indianapolis coming up. Their 6th off the turf. Scheduled for the grass main track now. State bred, non-winners of 2 allowance race.
I like the 9.
At 5 to 2 right now. It's guard for Michael Lauer. We'll get to him in a moment. We start with Firing Range, coming off a maiden win against Soft Company.
Yeah, I agree. It does feel like might have some speed, but I don't know how much speed this horse really has. I think it was on a slow pace last time.
Humble Warrior maiden win came here in the slop.
Correct. Has to improve off the last effort, though, in this field. Can't really rule anybody out.
Tour of the Moon, the comeback was not an inspiring confidence.
I agree. Now, maybe stretching out will help, though.
Boulder Bay just won a race taken off the turf here.
Yeah, but did run a buyer that makes the horse a player in this race, 5 to 2.
Here's Guard. What'd you like?
I thought Guard's last race was superior to these horses. I know that overall is 1 for 15, but has some races faster than these. And I'd like to see Loveberry be aggressive and wire this field. I think this horse can be the speed.
Cowboys Can't Cry, main track only for Jay Holden on the outside.
Can they? They're not allowed to cry, or they actually physically can't cry? This is quite an MTO, by the way.
Well, we know there's crying in baseball, so Cowboys probably can cry.
There's crying everywhere.
Everywhere. 1 for 13 in the win. That came on a race taken off the turf at Indiana, but buyer-wise, sort of on the short side. You get a $25 free play in the Belmont Stakes, plus a $200 deposit match sign-up bonus just for signing up with Naira Bets. With that code right there, Belmont25. Be part of the action. Play along. Go to NairaBets.com. Download the Naira Bets app and bet any track, anywhere, anytime. It's going to be fun to have. It's not going to be the biggest crowd we've ever had, capping at 50,000 this year, but it's going to be fun to have a legitimate crowd on hand again.
No, I agree. It'll be great. It's going to be an amazing, not just a day of racing, 3 straight days of racing. Thursday, we kick it off with that late post. The Wonder again, I believe, is Thursday with prep for the Belmont Oaks. Friday, you've got multiple stakes. I think 5 stakes on the card, 11 race card, including the now Grade 1 New York. So it's going to be an incredible weekend of racing. I really hope that people come out and come join us here at Belmont.
BG's tribute band as well.
Who is?
BG's tribute band.
Ooh. See that BG's documentary in HBO?
Fantastic.
Loved it.
Are you making fun of me because I brought that up?
No, I love that.
Oh, because I brought it up just the other day.
Really?
Was that with you?
No, not with me. No. I love the Bee
You're
Gees.
making fun
What's
of me.
not to like?
It's a tremendous documentary. This race coming up, let's get back to this one here. So sloppy going on this one, taken off the turf as we're looking at firing range for Gennaro Garcia, 7-2.
I don't quite understand why this horse. I feel like my horse Guard should be favored here off the last race. If Guard runs her last race, he's going to win this race. I'm going to bank on it.
And what happened to his speed? Just facing better?
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be aggressive here. I really do. It's not. I think this horse is fast enough to be in front if given the right ride.
Yeah, broke his maiden going gate to wire basically. Had been quick before. They'd shown sprint speed before that, but his last two had not really shown that same kind of speed. So we'll see what he does today. Jareth Loveberry will be on the 9. And there is not, I guess firing range from the inside is going to try and go. Not a lot of other pace in this race.
No, maybe the 2. No, they're scratched, the speeds, yeah. Maybe the 4. We'll see. We'll find out.
John Dooley. The call, race 6, Horseshoe Indy.
Runs as a main track only here for Jay Holden. They're in the gate. And they're off. Guard, Boulder Bay toward the inside. There's firing range going for an early bid as they head toward the first turn. It's firing range, Boulder Bay black with the red chevrons, and Guard is 3 wide as they enter the first turn. Humble Warrior secures inside position for Andre Zaloa. But it's firing range out to the front here for Gage Holmes. Firing range leads in the early stages from Humble Warrior, who's vying for second with Boulder Bay, and Guard is 4th with 6 furlongs to go. Then it's a break of 3 more. 2 wide, Cowboys Can't Cry. And with Santos Sanjor, Toward the Moon has drifted back to last. The opening quarter, 24.80 seconds, making his backstretch run. The lead's firing range. So firing range allowed to dictate terms to Boulder Bay, kept close there by Rodney Prescott. Humble Warrior, 3rd toward the inside. Jareth Loveberry and Guard in this leading quartet. And they have just over 4 furlongs to run. Then toward the inside is Toward the Moon. And wide, Cowboys Can't Cry. Half mile for the front runner. Firing range, 49.95 seconds as they round the far turn. So it's firing range who continues to lead Boulder Bay 3/4 of a length as Cowboys Can't Cry is coming with a marauding run for Lindsay Hebert on the far outside. Guard is dropped back. Humble Warrior and in between horses looking to gain ground is Toward the Moon as they come past the quarter pole. And Guard trails the sextet here in the slop. 3/4, 1 minute 14.99 seconds. Firing range looking to finish what he started for Gage Holmes. And firing range has kicked away to a 6-7 length lead with 1 furlong to go. Toward the inside is Toward the Moon, left to battle it out with Boulder Bay. Humble Warriors a 1-paced 4th. Firing range, and firing range full of run, 1 by 8. Boulder Bay edged out Toward the Moon for 2nd, and Humble Warrior finished 4th.
Wow, this horse coming out of a state-bred maiden claiming win. Dominant here, firing range, another win for Gage Holmes with Gennaro Garcia, the trainer.
Have to give the rider credit. The other people rode sort of unaggressively, and he said, okay, nobody wants to go. I'll take the front, and wins back-to-back races.
Did no running the first 2 starts of his career. Went to the bench for about 8 or 9 months.
Turned his life around stretching out, being aggressive.
2 for 2 now, going around of ground. And this was no contest here. Firing range for Southwest Racing Stables, Gennaro Garcia, Gage Holmes. A couple of wins from the few races we've shown you from Horseshoe Indy here with the victory.
Yeah.
On much the best in this one.
Much the best, I agree.
We are going to take a timeout while these prices for you. When we come back, we'll have more from Churchill Downs. Late pick 5 is next. Race that was scheduled for the grass main track now will set the stage for race 4 when we come back on America's Day at the Races.
A Grade 1 winner of nearly $2 million, Silver State hails from the sire line of legendary Claiborne stallion Danzig. And his second dam is full sister to Kentucky Derby winner Monarchos. After winning the Oaklawn Handicap, Silver State defeated Knicks Go in the Grade 1 Metropolitan Handicap. On the board in 12 of 14 starts from ages 2 to 4, his career included a 6-race winning streak. Grade 1 winner Silver State, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races, program brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net. Today, we're going to get to the Pick 5 at Churchill Downs in a moment. First, back to Horseshoe, Indy, Race 6. Gage Holmes again on board firing range here for Gennaro Garcia. Kept to the inside and runs away with this.
Seemed like easy money way this horse won. Absolutely buried the field. Good job persevering up front.
Christmas blinkers.
Yeah. Whole Christmas outfit.
Of Southwest Racing Stables. Loving the off-going. 3-year-old son of firing line. Now back-to-back wins. And as you pointed out, going long now, undefeated.
Yeah. 880. Generous.
Boulder Bay tore the moon there. Second and third. Coming up this weekend, Grade 3 soaring softly here in New York. 7 furlongs on the turf. And for Christophe Clement, he's going to send out 3 runners in the race, led by Derry Nain, who for the first time in her career is going to be going beyond 5.5 furlongs.
Yeah, and I think that's the question, whether or not her powerful closing kick is going to be as effective. She was a little bit unlucky in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. There's a very strong case to be made that she could have won that race. She only got beaten a length. And, some people were critical of Joe Rosario. I don't understand why. I just think it took her a while to get going here. I mean, he's riding her hard. She's just not really getting into it. And then when she just sort of kicks in, some people say, well, she's just kicking in at 5.5, so 7 will be fine. It doesn't always work that way. She's very good. Audio's inside of her. It's a very dangerous horse. The horse is Moyline favorite. And Charty Party. I mean, I don't know if you've watched this race yet, Greg.
So, yeah, I did.
This was...
How in the world? Horse had no chance mid-stretch. So we're going to show it to you here to win this race, and somehow just finds four other gears.
Yeah, I mean, she breaks a little bit slowly, but I think it's Irad.
It was Irad, yeah.
Very good job of just sort of relaxing her, and he doesn't get shuffled badly. Now she's on the rail and beating 3 horses. And the other thing is, Greg, it's not a race that collapsed. Nobody else did any significant closing at all in this race.
Gray on the rails, this race over, right? No chance here.
And
Maybe can hit the board.
Once Irad sort of gets her out right in here, I remember seeing this race live. Kind of picks her head up a little bit and says, okay, amazing. I got it. Bang.
Wow.
Now, she's got to improve to beat horses like Howdy and the other horse.
She won it easily, too.
No, she was wildly impressive in there. And there's some others in this race that have done a little bit of running as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, that too, that for her, that was 5.5 furlongs. No guarantee 7's going to be.
I agree. It's a big difference. It's not. So I agree. You know, a horse like Haughty, who's done well going longer, you know, she's not going to have an issue with it. But these are pretty talented fillies. Good race.
So she got Charty Party got an 83 buyer for that debut. Darian Ain finally got the biggest number she's ever earned, coming back as a 3-year-old, career start number 5 for 87. Upside-wise, do you think Charty Party has the upside edge?
Well, they both have upside. I mean, they're lightly raced 3-year-olds. I don't think you could say for sure. I mean, with only one race, yes, it's more likely she'll improve with more starts. But also, Wesley Ward also hasn't cranked up first time out.
That's true.
So maybe she ran big first time and she won't run as well. I know they're both pretty talented runners, all 3 of them, as a matter of fact.
Be fun to watch. That's a Grade 3 Soaring Softly on Saturday. That'll be race 9 on the card. Part of this cross-country Pick 5 sequence that's going to begin, I believe, 4:22 Eastern Time. 8th at Churchill will kick it off, and then Soaring Softly and the Kirtana at Churchill, part of that sequence.
Yeah, you've got last year's Kirtana winner towards the outside. Is it Luck Penny, the horse inside of her that ran the bog here last time behind Virginia Joy? They look like far and away.
Luck Money.
Yeah, Luck Money. They feel like the major 2 players in that race.
Back to Churchill, and this starts this Thursday evening. Late Pick 5, mile and a 16th against schedule for the grass. Main track now sloppy going, and here's Believing, new barn claimed by Jordan Blair.
Yeah, I mean, last time was the only time this horse has ever run in the dirt before, and didn't run that badly relative to who she's facing today.
Champagne Sister did win at Churchill to break her maiden.
I thought she was an interesting horse, dropping down in here for Ken McPeak.
Tiago Pereira will ride, Gary Stevens' other rider. Flores, 13-1 with John Court.
This one looked hard to make for me. Her dirt races are not good.
Didn't appear to love the slop last start here either. Don't You Know It, the 8 next door, Michael Tomlinson trains.
This horse only has pedigree to suggest it was going to handle turf or synthetic.
Yeah, this will be the dirt debut. Has only been on synthetic to this point. 3-year-old filly by Treasure Beach at 8-1 on the board. Main track onlys, here we go. The first of them, World of Wonder for Grant Forster.
Second off the claim, stretches out.
Speed?
Yeah, probably has a little bit of speed, yeah. I would say along with the outside horse, probably the speeds, right? Looking through the other ones from a time form, look at their pace projectors. Yeah, the rail might have speed too, though, Believing.
Memphis Cash Queen, Lon Wiggins sends out.
She has that one figure that makes her very tough. That day she wired at Fairgrounds, but I don't see her getting a lead in this race.
70 buyer in that win, Gatewire. And then Ipsum Gratis, Paul LaDuca's best bet of the evening.
Well, as opposed to a number of these, the 10, 11, this horse is run on scheduled dirt races. And I thought some of those races, particularly the last one, would make this horse tough. I agree with Paul. It's the one to beat.
But you said it earlier in the program, a lot of this Oaklawn form has not been translating to Churchill Downs.
I think a lot of those horses had a long winter running there. They ran a lot. They trained hard in the surface, and it's tough to come to Churchill Downs. A lot of these horses maybe more pointed for the meet, you know.
She's 9-5. Tom Van Berg trains, owns part of this filly as well, daughter of Include, and Rafael Bejarano will be aboard. So she is the favorite, one to beat. Again, Paul LaDuca's play of the night. And for some, maybe a single in this sequence. Got a maiden special weight coming up next. Where, like we saw it with, was it Horseshoe Indy? We saw that heavy favorite that finally won. Little Mambo coming up next at Churchill, part of this sequence. 4-5 morning line. She has been beat at 4-5 last time out, but against there was pretty good runners too. Steve Asmus are runners in front of her. She was beat as the favorite before that, but she's the massive standout again.
Where do you go if you're betting against her, unless you've got some info on the Dale Romans firster or something, right? I mean, my gosh. This horse looks like she's going to be like, I know she's lost at short prices, but first two finishers, the second finisher last time came back and improved the buyer's peak for 18 points, I think, winning the next time out. I actually looked at this race. I wasn't sure if I was doing it or not. So, yeah, this horse looks like the cinch of all cinches. Yeah. I mean, I agree. You know, the horse had chances, but the races are all strong.
So we'll see if she can get it done. That one going to be potentially, 3-5? Z's Lucky Girl, by the way, the one I was talking about, who finally broke through it at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. And Lil Mambo will be trying to do that next at Churchill. First things first, race 4. To kick off the Pick 5, let's go to Paulie.
Yeah, Gregor. When you look at the will pays in the doubles,
apologize for that. Some technical difficulties. We'll try and get Paul back before we open the gates here for race 4. Get that sorted out. 8-5. Again on Paulie's play of the night here coming up.
I bet a little on the 3 to win and then press to 12-3 exacta. Well, I think the 3's a little bit interesting. Meeting, running against better horses. Not a huge opinion, but just looking for a bit of an alternative.
Paul, I believe Paul was starting to talk about the will pays in the doubles. Ipsum Gratis, the 12, heavy favorite.
$11
in the double, yeah, $11.20. And
the 10 is 14, I think.
Heavy favorite in the pick 3 as well.
Ooh.
All right, I think we got the audio sorted out. Let's go back to Paul Duca.
Yeah, guys, we got the audio sorted out. What I was trying to explain was, if you look at the double will pays right now, Ipsum Gratis to Lost in Mambo is $4. That's what the double is paying. So Lost in Mambo, the next highest one was Ipsum Madison to 3 in the next race, which was $30. So I would think Lost in Mambo is going to play 1-5, maybe even 1-9-ish in this late pick 5. So do you want to single the 12? Do you want to use Andy's 3 as well? I mean, the 6 in the next race, Lost in Mambo, looks awfully tough. And I'm in agreement with Andy. The only other horse for me that you can use there is the Dale Roman's first-time starter, just because there's no form to go on. I mean, Lost in Mambo's, like I said, is going to be 1-5. I did like the 12 in here an awful lot. I don't know if I love at 9-5, I think we're at now. But like I said, a $4 double, why would you play the double? You could just play the 12 to win.
All right, Paulie, thanks. Pick 5 starts here. And, I was just mentioning to Andy off here, and Paulie had alluded to it as well. The double for the favorite here, who he thought was the standout of the night. Lil Mambo's going to be maybe 3 to 5 in the next race.
You would assume that horse is going to be 3 to 5.
That double is paying $11 right now for 2.
Yeah, that seems like a generous double, especially because the 12 is going down in odds as well.
Meanwhile, here's Memphis Cash Queen, another of those main track onlys. Struggled coming back on turf. The figure, you talked about the big race, and she got the lead in that race, but she got a bigger buyer figure than Ipsum Gratis has ever earned.
No, I agree. The thing is, she did it wiring a field in an off-the-turf race where she was 8-5. So it feels like she kind of had the race dumped in her lap. Having said that, it still is a fast enough number. You're talking about horses 5-1. I'm not betting her. She's just not fast enough to get the lead. I mean, unless the rider sends and everybody else takes back, which could happen in New York. It doesn't happen as much at Churchill Downs.
Well, here again, Believing, Julien Leperoux. Ran in a race meant for dirt at Keeneland last time out at this 39 winners at 2 level. And, was forward early, going 7/8. Now stretches out. Was a distant third in the race, but.
Well, Believing's got to go from the rail, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have to imagine that horse is going to go.
And that was the dirt debut for Believing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be surprised if the horse is effective here, but I will also be surprised if the horse is not aggressively ridden.
There's the 11 stepping in, and Ipsum Gratis, Rafael Bejarano, the 12, the favorite, and Paulie's best bet of the evening. There she is, daughter of Include. Travis Stone will kick off the start of this pick 5.
Times that she gets second, and the couple winners have been from off the pace, and I think that's going to work out.
And they're off. Don't you know it? Mid-pack fires out first. Champagne Sister and Florist not far behind, and World of Wonder comes on to join them. But it is Don't You Know It. Quickest into the opening turn, clears off to lead by 2. Florist emerging from the pack to grab second. Champagne Sister to the inside comes away third. World of Wonder in the clear, racing up into 4th. Ipsum Gratis is out in 5th, Believing is 6th. And Memphis Cash Queen settles in at the back and is 6 lengths off the lead. and there's 6 furlongs to go. And the opening quarter goes in 24-1. Controlled tempo on the front end by Don't You Know It, the leader by just more than a length. Flores is stalking on the outside second. Champagne Sister tucked away toward the rail third. Only 2 lengths off the lead is she. World of Wonders cruising along while fourth and in the clear. Believing is reserved at the rail fifth. Ipsum Gratis is alongside that one. They're only about 4 lengths off the lead, though. And Memphis Cash Queen is the trailer. They're on the far turn. The opening half in 48-4. Don't You Know It, still the leader. Leads down to 3/4 of a length. That's Flores gets a little bit closer with 3 furlongs to go. Don't You Know It, still the leader. Asked to pick it up. Flores is right there. Champagne Sisters in a drive angling outside. World of Wonder has been wide. Believing is rallying boldly down toward the rail. Cut the corner beautifully there to within 2 lengths of the lead. Top of the stretch. Don't You Know It is still in front. Here comes Champagne Sister. Flores fights on. Believing toward the rail. There's 1 furlong to go. Don't You Know It's in deep water. Here's Champagne Sister rallying to the front. Champagne Sister takes over at the 16th and is on to victory. The winner by 2. Don't You Know It's second. Flores settles for third, and Believing was fourth.
Champagne Sister, 3-year-old debut. Kenny McPeak, Tiago Pereira. Both of Gary Stevens' riders win tonight. Poor break for Ipsum Gratis.
Yeah, Ipsum Gratis. I mean, just it's when you have an outside post, you can't break a half leg slow because that becomes like 2 lengths slow because you can't get that position. You need to break on the money. Great job by Pereira getting this horse into position early. Felt like in a great spot. The speed never came back here. This horse able to loop around. Got a little 6-1 here. Drop down for Ken McPeak.
3-8-7 finish. The 2 wins for this filly have come right here at Churchill Downs. Broke her maiden here at a mile and 16th, and now wins for 39 winners of 2 at a mile and 16th.
This has got to be a pretty juicy try. 3-7-8. I mean, they may be the longest 3 shots. Was it 3-7-8?
It was 3-8-7.
3-8-7. Well, you got 6-1.
Do you want
8-1, 17-1? They are, in fact, the 3 biggest prices on the board.
I have 26-1 on the 7.
Okay, I'm gonna refresh here and see what I get. I don't know. They're not showing on the board.
Champagne Sister, Victory Stables, McPeak, Tiago Pereira, and 5-1 on your winner. Yeah, I think 7-1 over 26-1. But we'll make it official when we come back. Stay with us.
The breeding industry is governed by one principle. Performance determines success.
And Constitution has won!
Now, he's earning his stripes by siring stars.
Independence Hall wins the Hagyard Bayette.
Law Professor just in front, and Law Professor.
American Revolution, fireworks in the stretch here in the Cigar Mile.
Constitution, a natural-born leader.
Who you betting on? How about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions. And offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.
They're off in the oval. Here's Basin now running up alongside, and Basin grabs the lead. Basin and Jose Ortiz are running away on the oval.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than America'sBestRacing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. America'sBestRacing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Back on America's Day at the Races on FS2. And in, let's see, 16 days.
No, the Belmont. 16.
Third leg, Triple Crown right there. Test of the champion coming down that stretch at Belmont. Here's your winner of the 4th at Churchill. Champagne Sister, 3-year-old debut, daughter of Lord Nelson for Kenny McPeak. 2-time winner at Churchill.
Yeah, got a great ride. Got that pocket. You know, getting that position out of the gate is so important. And the only horse that made up any ground was the one down the inside. But really, this was, I mean, they didn't run exactly in order, but basically nobody made any real run, right?
Yeah. Champagne Sister, your winner at 5-1, 1360 for the victory. Over Doña Noa and Flores, and yeah, so 5-1 over 7-1 over 26-1. That trifecta for $2, $1,179.
Yeah, not easy. Not easy.
And upset start to the Pick 5 as well. Head back to Horseshoe Indy. 7th next, going to be on the main track at 6 furlongs. Greg Wolf, Andy Serling is your final segment, and then Maggie Wolfendale going to join me here for the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
So we'll bring you the rest of this card from Churchill Downs, and some action still to come from Canterbury Park as well out in Shakopee, Minnesota. 7th, though, let's set it up at Horseshoe Indy, and 6-5, Drink at the Creek. 3-time winner from 39 starts. A lot of seconds for the 6-year-old mare. 13 times.
I agree. I mean, that's a problem, right? 3 for 39 and 13 seconds. These are tough horses to take at short prices, Greg.
Here's the one. Here's Amazing Gal. This is her 4-year-old debut, New Barn.
Comes off a layoff for trainer. Not great numbers off the layoff. She'd have to improve.
So here's the favorite with a bit of second-itis.
I get why people like the horse, but I wouldn't take a short price on horses like this. Question is, who are you betting on?
Blue Vixen. She can be forward.
She can be forward, but she's got to get faster, I think.
9-1 on this filly here, Timeless Glory.
Another horse coming off a 6+ month layoff. Trainer, not great numbers off the layoff.
Just one, she'll cut back in distance. The 5, Smooth Justice, she is fast.
Isn't there also an argument that she likes a wet track? The only 2 times that she's run a respectable figure has been on a wet track, right?
I like her.
I thought she was very logical.
Every other one, more speed here.
What about her race 2 back? Her race 2 back will snap this field in half.
And is that why maybe the 5 is a bigger
because
price?
The 6 and 5 are going to get engaged? That's a fair point.
And then Miss Deputy Star, the 7, at 5-1 outside.
Not impossible, but she'd have to improve a little bit. But she is second off a layoff, and I don't think she ran that badly last time. All I got to say about this race is I think there are options. The 2 is the 6 going to end up the favorite. I don't know. I'm curious to see how this goes because I think the 2. Find somebody you like and make a blank 2 exacta. How's that?
Yeah, no, that's what she does.
Right.
She runs second quite a bit.
Does it well.
But, you know, as we were saying, if there is that pace up front, she's another one that could benefit from it, right?
Sure. And I think, it's it just doesn't, I'm so gun shy from hoping duels, develop. They just don't happen the way they used to.
Well, here's the favorite, Jareth Leatherbury, 6-year-old mare. And, her last 2 speed figures, at least recently of anyone in this race, they're the best of anybody in the field of the recent races they've run.
No, I understand why she's bet, and it's not that we're saying she can't win. It's just very hard to take horses that are 3 for 39 with 30 seconds. Now, to be fair, look at the prices she's been. She does have a second at even money going way back. 5-1, 10-1, 9-1, 9-1, 40-1, 5-1, 23-1, 17-1. So it's not like she's failing in races where she's supposed to be winning.
Yeah, good point.
But that is still, it's a number that's hard to argue with. She's been a full third of 39 starts second.
Well, we got another, not quite 13 for 39 seconds, but we got a second-itis filly we're going to see next at Churchill, who we talked about, Lil Mambo ahead. 3 in-the-money finishes.
What price is that horse?
She's 1-2 right now.
She's got to be.
And it looks like that's a field that she should be able to handle. We'll get to that one coming up. We're 18 minutes away from that 5th at Churchill. Gosh, this price getting even lower now. On Drink at the Creek, 8-5 on the 6-year-old mare by It's My Lucky Day. You could play this race, the late pick 4 at Churchill, the Belmont Stakes, all of it with NYRA Bets. Free $25 bet on the Belmont. And that $200 deposit match sign-up bonus when you punch in this code for new members, Belmont25. Go to NYRABets.com, download that NYRA Bets app, and play along with us all summer long. June 11th, that Belmont Stakes that week is going to be tremendous.
It is. It's a great week. It's going to be an amazing day. I hope people get a chance to come out and join us for any or all of it.
There's the favorite stepping in. So the 6-year-old mare trying to win third off the bench, as you mentioned, just as the odds reflect. Easiest field she's faced in quite some time. Can she deliver as the favorite? We're about to find out with Jarrett Loveberry aboard, the 2 for Michael Lauer. Here's John Dooley.
Stand by, one more. Alex Achard with Miss Deputy Star coming up in the blue. Here's Miss Deputy Star. It's our sprint feature of the day here at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. They're in the gate. And they're off. Nice line out. Miss Deputy Star broke sharp. Good speed, every other one in the black cap. Here's Blue Vixen, who's showing positional pace in third as every other one confronts sharp starting Miss Deputy Star. It's every other one who dashes to the front now for Marcelino Pedrosa Jr. leads Miss Deputy Star through the first furlong and a half. Blue Vixen tracking third. Then in between horses is Timeless Glory in the purple silks, joined toward the inside by Amazing Gal. Smooth Justice on the far outside, covering a lot of ground there for Joe Ramos, the green cap of Smooth Justice. And toward the inside is Drink at the Creek. The opening quarter, 22.45 seconds. Inside 3 furlongs to go. It's every other one who just leads with the round from Miss Deputy Star as Smooth Justice looks to draw in as these fillies mares come past the quarter pole. Blue Vixen, then Timeless Glory from the inside. Amazing Gal and Drink at the Creek is last. Heads are turned for home. Half mile, 45.46 seconds. Leading against the running rail. Every other one drifts off her line slightly for Miss Deputy Star. Blue Vixen is still boxing on. Amazing Gallows drop back. Then on the outside, Smooth Justice with Timeless Glory. They're close to home for Marcelino Pedrosa Jr. Every other one wins by 3. Miss Deputy Star was second, Blue Vixen third, and then Timeless Glory, Amazing Gal, Smooth Justice, and Drink of the Creek was last to pull up.
Well, you called it. You said if this filly could run the race that she ran 2 back on a sloppy track at this racetrack, she would put this field to rest. And she did.
She just, it's another race where nobody gained at all. And you kept waiting for somebody to show up, right? The 2 Drink at the Creek to show up. Maybe she was drinking at the creek, but she was no factor at all. Dead last, I think. Wow.
She was the morning line favorite.
Did she go off the favorite? She should have been favored.
And let's see. 9-5. She did go off the favorite in here.
Well, she won like it was an overlay.
Yeah. 4-year-old return to the race is successful. She's now 4 for 10 in her career. She's won 2 of her last 3. And gets the job done there. She's 3 for 3 now. Or sorry, 3 for 4 on an off track. That is it for Andy Serling, everyone. But we got more show coming up. Don't go away. Maggie Wolfenau joining me.
The best is yet to come. Get rid of me. Get Maggie, please.
Maggie joining me after a short time out. We'll be back. A lot more coming up, including the rest of this Pick 4 and Pick 5 and Pick 6 from Churchill down.
See you. See you tomorrow.
Quick break. We'll be back right after this. Stay tuned.
Speightstown. Munning. Echo Town.
It's Echo Town for Joe Talamo, and Echo Town raced away, and Echo Town is drawing away in the stretch. Echo Town wins the Allen Jerkin Stakes.
A sire line so prolific, it repeats itself. Echo Town.
Silver State is a son of Heartspun out of an Empire Maker mare named Supreme. He was bred by Stone Street. It was a $450,000 yearling. He's a really good-looking horse. He was a winner of the Grade 1 Met Mile last year at Belmont, defeating Horse of the Year Nick Sco. He reeled off 6 wins in a row, which is almost unheard of in today's horse racing world, but won the Oaklawn Park Handicap. Best win was in the Grade 1 Met Mile at Belmont Park, and he is breeding his first book of mares currently this spring.
It is Silver State at the rail. Mischievous Alex on the outside. It is Silver State who has the lead. Mischievous Alex, by my standards, out in the middle of the track. They're coming down for the finish in the Hillendale Met Mile, and it is Silver State to make it 6 in a row.
When I saw him in the paddock Met Mile Day was when he really kind of sold me on his looks, and I'd kind of been, yeah, he's a nice horse. And when I saw him in the paddock, it was like, okay, he'll work. And then when he won, it was like, it really worked. And being by Heartspun, the family he has, made it that much more exciting. And the fact he'd been 6 for 6 up to, you know, through there, it was a good idea. And once he got to the farm, he's been very popular.
I had a pretty large wager on him to win the Met Mile because I thought 5 to 1. I knew Nick Sco was in the race. He's obviously a very good horse, but I just thought Silver State was, it looked like he was on a roller, and it looked like he was going to continue, which he did.
He beat Nick Sco, which everybody knows who Nick Sco is, and that was even that much more exciting, and, you know, another feather in his cap.
The Met Mile has a rich history of making stallions, and we hope that Silver State will continue that trend.
The day we started showing him, he came in here and looked like $1 million, and everybody that came to see him fell in love with him. Well, I don't know what they expected, but once he got in here, I mean, he probably came in and got off the truck and looked as well as any horse we've had come in a long time.
You know, he's such a good-looking horse. He's about 16'3". Everyone that has come to look at him has just loved his physique and physical. He's a gorgeous horse. He's dappled out right now, looks tremendous. He's got a great book of mares that we're excited about, and he's going to have a really big chance of making it as a stallion.
We kind of followed that whole run from Silver State. He won 1. Oh, yeah, nice win. Then he won 2. Then he won 3. Then he won the Met Mile. It was incredible. And he just kept going and going, now standing at Claiborne Farm. Andy Sterling has said so long. Maggie Wolfendale joining me. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. And watching that piece with Silver State, he was a horse that was always so physically impressive and imposing. It'll be fun to see if he passes that physicality on to his progeny, as well as that will to win, which he definitely had, as you mentioned, the streak.
We got a lot more coming up from Churchill Downs. We're going to get into the pick 4 coming up next. Race 5.
That should be Maggie M. Or W.
What's your middle name?
L. Lynn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's Maggie E. Palace Malice filly making start number 2. Riders up. Ricardo Santana Jr. hopping aboard. Punch play here. We'll see.
Yeah, but on paper she has no shot.
So I was talking,
other than Ricardo coming aboard.
Pretty much everyone has no shot with the exception of the 6. But the 6 has been an odds-on favorite last time out, got beat. Favorite before that, got beat. But look, it was 2 very good Steve Asmussen runners who were ahead of her last time out. Is today the day for the 6, or do you think she's vulnerable at all?
It's supposed to be. She is the speed in here, unless one of these lighter raced horses. There's a couple of first-time starters in here. We do see the 2 at 7 to 1. So maybe a little bit, taking a little bit of play on the board could indicate that she does have a bit of early foot. But 3 consecutive gate breezes heading into here. Usually that means that they are looking to get them to break sharply, or that they've been bad out of the gate with that consecutive amount of gate breezes coming into their first start with regards to Shawgirl in here. But Greg, she is the proven commodity in here, and like I said, it's put up or shut up time, but she looks to lay over this field.
And there she is going through the tunnel. She could probably run the worst race that she's run and still probably win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, Pinky Toe, she came back. She ran a 76, which was a comparable figure to what she won first time out. But then Ari Oakley, who was the favorite that day, she returned to Breaker Maiden with a 91 by her.
Yeah, both for Asmussen. So here comes the post break. We're going to start with Maggie E. And again, Ricardo Santana Jr. will be aboard. was 33-1. First time out, just really did not pick up her feet at all that day.
Well, unfortunately, she was posted on the inside that day. She's posted on the inside again. She ducked in sharply. I mean, Joe Talamo was lucky to stay aboard her that day. So she's going to have to get over that bad habit and get over it quickly, as once again, we see her in that rail spot.
And
Ricardo Santana hopefully having his crop in the left hand so she doesn't do that.
Yeah, even worse news, too, was a sloppy track, and she gets sloppy again today.
Exactly.
But maybe just debut, we can forgive it, and she'll improve. Shaw Girl, first-timer Dale Romans.
This one has a bit of turf pedigree, or I should say in the immediate family, but the dam actually have to icebox.
Lady Be Lucky, 6-1 with Rafael Bejarano.
Yeah, speaking of the turf, this one's trying the dirt for the first time. The dam was a multiple stakes winning turf horse.
Quick 3-furlong drill, though, coming in on dirt. Lamasco, first-time starter by Summerfront.
Yeah, this is the first foal from an unraced dam. The second dam made a multiple stakes winner on the turf.
And Broker Maiden on the dirt, went 3 for 3 with a couple of stakes wins on the grass. 2020 Hoax. Mitch Murrell rides.
The dirt races do look a little bit better than that last turf race. Maybe needed one. I kind of like the tune-up sometimes, too, on the turf and then getting back to the dirt, the sloppy track.
1-2. She deserves to be 1-2, but she's 0 for 4 right now.
Look for her to go to the lead, and if she can turn away everyone, that's what she's supposed to do.
And first-timer outside dam. She won at Belterra. She won at Indy. She won at Mountaineer.
And how about these American Freedoms? Now, this is his first crop, but with his 3-year-old first-time starters, he's going to get 31%. It's a small sample size, but I think he's 7 for 21 with his debuting first-time 3-year-olds.
4 minutes to post. Race 5 at Churchill starts the late pick 4 on this Thursday evening card. Let's check in with Paul LeDuc at 3-5 favorite. Going to be a single for many, Paulie.
Yeah, and I'm going to be one of those ones that's going to single. I'm not going to try to play the guessing game in here, because if you're not going to single the 6 in here, I believe you need to use the 2, Shy Girl. I think you also need to use the 4, Lamasco, because on the bottom side of that pedigree, you get Haynesfield. I think that horse has got some hidden works. It's a Churchill Downs training track. So I'm just going to single the 6 in here. In the next race, I'm going to go 4-7. The 2 horses that ran against each other last time. I mean, it's very, very simple. Summer Storm and Invaluable. Invaluable switches barns to the Robertino Doro barn. She's going to be tough in there. Race number 7 to 13 on the main track only horse. Probably going to be your favorite. But I also like Queen Bourbon in there on the dirt. Also the 5, 13. And then in the last race, we'll go with Mr. Calipari, the head coach of Kentucky. We are in Kentucky, aren't we? And the 6, Luckman, 7 and 8 to close it out. Not an expensive ticket, Greg. I really don't feel like this pick 4 is going to pay a bunch, but maybe you can hit that a couple more times and maybe get a bigger profit on a smaller ticket.
Easy with that Calipari stuff. You're not in Lexington, Paulie. You're in Louisville. 2 minutes. I thought, he used the 2 speeds in that 6 race, the 4 and the 7. I thought anyway were probably going to be the 2 speeds. I thought that 6 race was really difficult.
The 6th, yes. I mean, you have a horse coming out of there, Frills, who looked as though she could have been another single type, maybe used with 1. So now that's kind of blown everything wide open in there. It is a tough race. I thought the 3 actually ran well behind Frills last time. She was kind of taken out of her game. I think she's better. She can lay a bit closer. She kind of blew the start a bit. So as you were saying, there's some speed in there, and if she can just sit in that nice stalking position, I think Delta Gamma Cats is a little interesting there.
Can we use your eyes here to tell us what you see from the 3?
Look, I like the fact she looks great. But it's Eddie Keneally. Eddie Keneally is one of those trainers whose horses always come over looking fantastic. And my husband was a former assistant to Eddie, and Eddie's mantra was, you may not always have the fastest horse, but make sure you always have the best looking horse. Because owners do pay attention to that. So I like the fact that she does get at least a sealed track to try it on. And Churchill continuously has proven to be a track that is kind to horses who may prefer the turf.
And again, she has that bullet 3 furlong drill coming in here, so maybe they're trying to get some speed into her. Rafael Bejarano will ride. She's 6-1 right now. Everyone's this race goes through the filly just ran through your screen, the 6, Low Mambo. She might
They might
run
be
that. She
still
might run that
doing
quick in the race. Yeah.
But you have to mark how much money that the 2 is taking here, Greg. Shawgirl. I mean, she's continuously dropped throughout the
10 to 1 morning line.
And do we often see Dale Roman's horses taking this much money first time out? Is she going to show speed? Her pedigree really wouldn't say that necessarily. She has more pedigree to go long, at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so the Dam actually produced a runner who right now, all of a sudden, going long on dirt, as you bring that up, has gotten really good. At Parks has won his 2 last 2 races by 18 lengths combined.
And as we were mentioning, the second generation, the Dam is Spice Island, who is a graded stakes winner on turf, but she was half to Icebox, and he was pretty proficient going those long distances on the dirt. She looks quick, though. She looks as though she's a bit more of a stockier type, kind of broad-shouldered, broad hind end to her as well. We'll see. The money is meaningful.
So 5 to 1, half her morning line for the debut for Dale Romans coming up. Joe Talamo will ride. It would appear everyone's running for second. Overwhelming favorite and single for most in this pick 4. And it's so hard to gauge. Paul talked about saying this pick 4 doesn't look like it's going to pay much. And, sometimes you look at it and it's right, but other times you think that and the complete opposite happens. Don't let that ever scare you away from playing a pick 4 or pick 5.
Oh, gosh, no, for sure. And look, Paul also brought up an interesting point as well with regards to the track, that inside seems to be maybe the place you want to be. And could that work out well for the 2 in here, Shawgirl? I'll be really intrigued to see if she shows any speed with those gate drills, 3 back to back to back coming in here, with some works that are, it looks as though she missed a breeze from April 30th to May 11th, too. So 5 to 1 on her, 2 to 5 though on Little Mambo. Do you think she goes the lead here?
I do. I think she's the best horse in the race. Don't mess around and put this field to bed early.
Yeah. And Phil Bauer, it looks as though it's a slow year so far, but remember the summer he had in Saratoga? He brought some horses really ready to run up there.
Yeah, Rickney Racing has some nice runners, too. The 6, Philly. She is the overwhelming favorite. Lil Mambo beat it odds on last time out. She's odds on again today. Let's go to Travis Stone.
And they're off. Slow start for Divine Hope, spots to field a few lengths. Good beginning for Maggie E. and Little Mambo. Maggie E, though, quicker from the inside post, races on through to the front. Little Mambo forced to track the pace from second. Lady Be Lucky 3 lengths farther back in third. 2020 Hoax comes away fourth by 3. Shawgirl's back in fifth. Lamasco's second to last early. And Divine Hope's to trailer in a strung out field. 22-2 for the opening quarter. 3 furlongs from the wire. And here comes Little Mambo coming after Maggie E. And these 2 knockheads round the far turn, with 2020 Hoax honing in from third. At the quarter pole, Little Mambo rolls off the turn in front. In front by 2, Maggie E gives way. 2020 Hoax trying to muster up a late rally. There's 1 furlong to go, and Little Mambo has plenty left for this final furlong, and she has ripped away from the others. Little Mambo gliding over the slop today is going to score on the wire by 7 lengths in the end. 2020 Hoax, Lady Be Lucky, and Shawgirl.
Do we have Mambo Italiano in our music library? Cue it up if we do. Lil Mambo finally breaks her maiden career start, number 5, Daughter of Into Mischief.
And you saw Maggie E showing speed. She actually got away straight this day, but Little Mambo just sitting right there in that stalking trip. And Florent Giroux found the tire track, the more dry, compact part of the track, just to glide under the wire, not as if she needed that, as she was eased up, and a very comfortable winner.
$500,000 Daughter Into Mischief. I mean, some expectations. And 5th time out, finally breaks her maiden. We'll see where she goes from here, but yeah, she handled this field fairly convincingly. 5.5 furlongs and 104 flat.
We did see the 7, a first-time starter, just dwelt basically at the start and then broke outwardly. I think they were just taking a look at that because optically it did not look good from the pan shot.
The biggest surprise to me was Maggie E being on the lead.
Well, I guess she could be quick if she kept a straight course, and today she did. So, at least well done to the connections for having her more professional this day. Came in with that gate drill. Didn't add up to much at the end, but still, at least she was more professional.
Lil Mambo, Phil Bauer, Rigney Racing, Florent Giroux. You're down late, easy win in this 5th at Churchill. And breaks her maiden at a short price to kick off the Pick 4. Well, the prices set up race 6 for you when we come back. Stay tuned.
The ultimate accolade for a racehorse is to be named Horse of the Year. To be enshrined to the Hall of Fame is to achieve immortality. As a stallion, genetic immortality is defined in 2 words: breed shaper, plain and simple. 2-time Horse of the Year and Hall of Fame inductee, Curlin, is just that. Breed shaper, Curlin, the classic sire.
Stay fabulous. Resorts World.
Spun to run. In the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, he defeated a loaded field that included multiple Grade 1 winners Omaha Beach and Improbable. His brilliant speed figures were among the fastest of any 3-year-old at a mile or more. And he hails from the legendary Danzig sire line. Multiple graded stakes winner, millionaire, Breeders' Cup champion, Spun to run. Standing at Gainesway.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Back on America's Day of the Races on FS2. Program brought to you in part by Hillendale at Alapa. Race 5 under the Twin Spires in the books. And Lil Mambo breaks her maiden. Career start number 5 here under Florent Giroux. Shortest price she has ever been, and she does not disappoint. Picture time here in career start number 5. Let's go to Paula Duca.
Yeah, I'm with the winning jockey here. Flo the jockey, if you follow him on Twitter, one of my favorite follows. Florent, you've ridden her before, and she's been a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, thanks for the shout out. Appreciate that, Paul. No, exactly. She always try hard, and feels like there was always one little bit faster than her the past few starts. But looked like all stars were aligned today, and that was a great spot. And thanks to Phil and the owner for putting me on her. And I was just, to be honest, just a good passenger. I love the way when I look at the overnight and when I start digging in on the PPs, I'm like, I think it should be a great spot for her to break her maiden, and she did very easily. So very pleased with her effort.
I always wanted to ask: is there more pressure when they're 1-5 like that than when they're 8-1?
No. No, I mean, I go there, like, you still need to be focused, and every opponent, could be dangerous. But I take the 3-5 rather than 35-1, I can tell you that.
Any day of the week. Now, she does have Dynaformer on the bottom of her pedigree. Do you think that she might be able to go around 2 turns?
I think she's definitely a sprinter. Turf is something we could try. Look like she's very, short stride filly. Yeah. The turf sprint, but I think she's extremely quick, and I would think probably going to keep her around 1 turf for a while.
Well, winning jockey Florent Giroux aboard Little Mambo, who might be on to bigger and better things after getting this W.
And if you follow that Twitter account, I love what he puts his professional jockey. He has that video of that win on set piece who makes it interesting coming from so far out of it.
Yeah, and he's a horse that there was high expectations. Remember when he came to this country, it's nearly 2 years ago now. Then he kind of lost his way a bit.
Debut was amazing. Yeah.
Right? And then he lost his way a bit. And now it's so cool to see him, that talent coming to fruition.
Race 8, Horseshoe Indy, was scheduled for the grass. Main track now at a mile and 16th. State bred allowance now winners at 2 as we're up to saved best for last. Mike Lauer.
Got a tune-up going the 5/8 off the layoff. We'll see.
Appreciate you trying to find something positive. Peak Achika, the 4.
She was just no match for, other horses that she faced in here. Maybe she needed the last race. She kind of ran on late, but when most of the running was over.
Should be on the front here. Climber had the lead sprinting last start.
Yeah, I like Climber. I mean, I know previously before she turned 3, there was nothing to write home about, but she has the best dirt race coming in here.
See if she can do it going longer. Birdie, the beauty, went by at 24-1, and here's the 8, Revs Run.
Revs Run, she looks huge. She attended the pace last time out, but she just came up very empty and doesn't even have a race to make her that competitive here. They go very fast.
Of Tonic went by the 9.
That's for me.
Just missed in a stake.
Yeah, I love the name. She did try hard last time out. So she's another one I think you have to use third start off the bench.
And favorite outside, Stormy Wager.
Stormy Wager, what are they, betting her on her turf form? I mean, her dirt races are not very good. She's a favorite I'd be willing to go against here.
Post time coming up for this 8th. Want to remind you, you can get signed up, started, play along, bet the third and final leg of the Triple Crown. Rest of this Belmont meet, Saratoga all summer with Naira Bets. Go to nairabets.com, download the app. Take advantage of the $25 free play in the Belmont Stakes, plus that $200 deposit match sign-up bonus with, drumroll, this code right here. Thank you, Belmont25. And bet any track, anywhere, anytime, including this race we have coming up. So, yeah, I'm with you on the 10.
Bad favorite. She's a Get Stormy, 5-star daymare. Look at her dirt races. I mean, the last one she has showing November 2nd, granted it was going 6 furlongs. She's beaten 17 3/4 lengths, runs a 4-buyer. Before that, her one long race, which was an off-the-turf race, she was beaten 19 1/4 lengths, runs a negative.
And is part of it why they're betting her. She had a second on a race taken off the turf here on a track label good, but she had the lead in that race. She's not going to get the lead here.
No, and it's way slower than the horses that have the proven dirt form. I mean, maybe she appreciates the sloppy sealed racetrack. Maybe that's a feather in a cap. But at a short price, I don't know. I mean, Splash of Tonic, I don't mind her. But don't you think that Climber is really interesting here? If she can get the distance, she's out on a lone lead, I would think. And she beat the even money favorite last time when breaking her maiden.
Yeah, she's the 6. She should get separation here. She appears to be the quickest. But look, it's a question mark. Can she get this distance? No question. She went a mile one time, and she completely backed up. But
I was really sad
she's
this
a
was
different
off
filly now.
Right. You would have to think. At least her 3-year-old races suggest that. I was really interested in the 1. I was really sad when this race came off. Just humming. Look for her on the turf if she ever gets to it again.
Put her in your stable watch.
Horseshoe Indy. Loving it.
4 steps in, and there is the 9 Splash at Tonic, the favorite, Stormy Wager. We both think a very beatable favorite here, opportunity. Let's go to John Dooley, 8th, Horseshoe Indy.
993 career wins. They're in the gate. And they're off. Birdie the Beauty bounded away. Save best for last. Dash of Simplicity. And there's Stormy Wager, who goes to the front straight away for Deshaun Parker and angles in while clear. It's Stormy Wager who leads them into the first turn. Splash of Tonic follows from Birdie the Beauty in between horses. Dash of Simplicity and the Whitecap holds the rail. The leading quartet with just under 7 furlongs to go. Climber's a wide 5th. Then toward the inside is Just Humming in 6th. Then taken back to settle by Gage Holmes, 3/4 of a length. Save best for last is now running last but 2. The trailers are Revs Run and beaten for speed. Pika Chica has dropped back to ninth and last. The opening quarter in 24.25 seconds as these fillies and mares make this backstretch run. It's Stormy Wager who generates the pace. 3/4 length to Splash of Tonic, and Climber starts a wide bid. Here's the half-mile pole. And then toward the inside is Dash of Simplicity, who's just through into fourth, with Birdie the Beauty in fifth. Rev's Run is sixth, then Save Best for last. Toward the inside, Just Humming, and trying to catch up to the rest of the pack. Pika Chica remains the trailer. Half mile in 48.14 seconds. The front runner still Stormy Wager, but now at the 2.5 as Climber starts this move for Manny Esquivel. Here's Climber. Climber wide, but up to the front. Couple of furlongs to go. Splash of Tonic as Stormy Wager backtracks. In between horses is Splash of Tonic, and Dash of Simplicity is getting into top gear and follows Climber for home. 3/4, 1 minute 9.88 seconds here on the off track. 1 furlong to go. It's Climber on a tenacious lead. On the outside, Dash of Simplicity trying to reel Climber in. Splash of Tonic, Stormy Wager, and here's Pika Chica, who is last on the back of the Horseshoe Indianapolis track with Rodney Prescott. Pika Chica comes rolling right over the top. Pika Chica last to first. Climber was the runner-up. Dash of Simplicity, Splash of Tonic, Birdie the Beauty, Stormy Wager, Just Humming, Rev's Run, and Save Best for last was last home.
Pika Chica 1 for 19 coming in, gets the win, and really good effort from Climber, who was nowhere near where she wanted to be in this race.
She by far ran the best race, Greg. She just kind of hesitated a bit early, breaking from the gate. The others kind of came around her. We were right about the 10, who assumed an easy lead, and Pika Chica just getting the setup. I mean, look, Climber fought off everyone. It looked like the 2 was going to go by her at one point, and then Pika Chica just rolled down the middle of the racetrack, kind of benefiting from that last race. Now she's 2 for 20.
Indeed she is. Rodney Prescott, Brian Michael team up for Andrew Ritter. 5-year-old mare by Danza, the win at 10-1.
I love how Dooley can call the entire field. I'm not really sure how he does that.
Oh, at the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
We'll have these prices for you when we come back. We also have racing action from Maggie's new home away from home coming up when we return. Going to make a trip out there on June 22nd for their big night. Stay with us. Canterbury Park, Shakopee, Minnesota, coming up.
Pouring it on here in the stretch. Impressive to win the Grade 2 Vosburg. Following C.
Smile Happy has kicked it into high gear. And Smile Happy with a powerful performance wins by 2.5.
The Clutch champion Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back with you on America's Day at the Races on FS2. And we're going to be getting into Canterbury here shortly. Going to preview some weekend action coming up as well. Churchill Downs in just a moment. We had Pika Chica winning Horseshoe Indy. Rodney Prescott for Brian Michael. And early on in this race, for a moment, it looked like Stormy Wager, who we did not like as the favorite, was going to just destroy this field. But that was short-lived.
Yeah, she got the easy lead, and then, you know, you saw the 9 Splashatonic range up, and then Climber, who was completely out of position, she looked to be the clear-cut speed. She ranges up 3 wide, easily takes command from the early leaders. As the 10 in here, your favorite Stormy Wager, just backs up readily. And then, where's Pika Chica? Oh, there she is appearing on your screen, white bridle. Oh, she fades away, and she finally gets her legs underneath of her. And here she comes rolling in the middle of the racetrack. But Climber, she fended off the 2. She put away the other speed horses just to get run down late by Pika Chica, who pulls off a bit of an upset.
As you mentioned, now 2 for 20 in her career. $22.20 for the win, 10-1, over 6-2, over 7-1. That trifecta, $582 for $2 play. And the 8th in the books at Horseshoe Indy.
That'll do it
Pick
for us
6
for Indy, right?
carryover, by the way.
Oh, nice.
$72,528. Coming up this weekend, we have stakes action out at Churchill Downs. A lot of these marathons on the turf we're seeing at Churchill. Kirtana, we will see on Saturday. It's race 10 on the card. A lot of older fillies and mares going to line up in this group, including Temple City Terror.
The defending champ.
Yeah, 3-1 morning line. Brennan Walsh, Adam Biskitsa. Won this race last year at better than 5.5-1, beating one of my favorites, Dalica.
Oh, yes. Look at her. She's out by herself. And here comes Temple City Terror just rolling down the middle of the racetrack. Adam Biskitsa aboard this day, will be aboard again for Brendan Walsh, who is having a really nice meet, really nice year to boot. Kind of felt bad for Dalica, though.
First of all, I didn't ever expect to see her that far out in front. She's really good filly for Al Stall.
Luck Money, though, I think is interesting, emerging out of the Sheep's Head Bay. That course is listed as yielding, might as well have been soft and heavy. I mean, we saw Virginia Joy, who was much the horse to beat that day, just go out to an easy lead and, you know, take control. And really, Luck Money, I know she was beaten 14 1/4 lengths, ran okay, despite not necessarily handling the going. They put the blinkers on, and what, this is...
The Dowager, where she just misses the Summer in Saratoga by a half length.
You know, you wonder, is she developing a little bit of that hang? And that's why they're putting the blinkers on, which could correct that. So, like I said, I think getting back to, we'll see, hopefully a more firm turf course by Saturday at Churchill proves to be, you know, the winning combination for her, for Arnaud Delacour teaming up with Brian Hernandez.
There is no standout by any stretch in this race.
There isn't.
We've had a few of them the last couple of weeks on the program, too. These marathon races on the turf at Churchill, they've been some of the absolute best betting races of the entire card. And Kirtana might be another example of that coming up on Saturday. Back at Churchill, good for little Mambo.
Yeah.
Breaking through, getting that win. And she actually might turn out to be pretty good.
She might be. I mean, like you said, they paid $500,000 for maybe just running into some good horses, maybe getting away from Ocon. Who knows? Maybe she just didn't like the surface at Ocon that much. I don't know. And we'll see what she does. She could have a nice little future in front of her. You know, we saw Florent Giroux catch up with Paul LaDuca, and he said sprinting's her gig, that maybe someday they'd try the turf with her with the Dynaformer on the bottom, but that probably sprinting on the dirt's A-okay for now.
Well, this race, 6 furlongs, 10,000 starter allowance, and you brought up a good point. Maybe we thought Frills was going to be the heavy favorite in here and would have been the 6, but that one's out. The filly that chased her the last couple of starts might be the way to go in here. The 3 Delta Gamma Cats gets away finally from Frills. She's the 3 at 5-2.
Yeah. When she was beaten by Frills 2 back at Keeneland, she tried really hard. And I don't know honestly what her best trip is. I think it's for her to stalk right behind the pace. And last time it was a slow pace in which she hesitated at the start. So she just didn't get the best start. Here she is on screen. She's going out for Ethan West, and the horse that finished second that day, Foreign Exchange, came back to improve her speed figure with a 71.
One of the bigger numbers she ran was at Churchill in the slop. Here's the 4, Summer Storm. Had back-to-back wins before she finally got beat last start.
It was her first start off a little bit of a layoff. She was kind of hard in the bridle, and then she just came up a bit short. Maybe she improves with that race under her belt.
Big figures for Destiny's Darling, but at Horseshoe Indy.
Yeah, we'll see how it translates. I'm a bit dubious of her, though. Like you said, her last 2 races have been good.
Invaluable, big number last start as well. She may be the speed of the race for Diodoro.
Interesting, she goes back to the Diodoro barn after being claimed from him. Ran really well, though the pace did kind of hold together that day in that last start, first off the claim, which is just weird.
Charm, the off-track, the question for her. She comes in off back-to-back wins to her Paradise.
Isn't she interesting?
Oh,
her
yeah.
numbers stack up. She did have a perfect trip last time, but she's won half of her career starts, hardly ever been off the board.
Yeah, and I look at thoroughgraphs. The 2 races she's run the last 2 starts, best numbers of anyone in the field.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Yeah.
And then 13-1. Any reason to endorse the 10 outside?
Not that I see, Greg. I mean, she got a perfect ground-saving trip last time. They rail open like the Red Sea over at Horseshoe Indy. She's been consistent with her numbers, but I think this is a bit of a stiffer test for her. She look. She has that nice stalking type of style. She could be dangerous from that perspective, but I think some of the other horses she faces in here are a bit better than her, including Invaluable.
Well, was the favorite. Invaluable, Robertino Diodoro, just was second, 3 lengths clear of Summer Storm, the 4 in today's race, but was well clear of Summer Storm when they met back on May the 1st.
Yeah, I wonder what the story is going back to Robertino Diodoro for these connections. But she ran well last time. She's kind of a filly that she actually looked as though she might be okay when she was running around here earlier as of last year. And then she kind of lost her way a bit, and she's regrouped and found herself again kind of more at the sprint distances. And I always thought she kind of looked more like a sprinter, and I always thought, too, she looked like a wet track horse. Her form would kind of say she could go either way with dealing with the wet track, but I like her here.
Well, for the rematch, they're close on the board, even though 3 lengths separated them. But the favor right now, Paul, Delta Gamma Cats, the 3.
Yeah, and, I can understand where the public's going. When you look at this race, the 4 and the 7, they've been playing musical chairs. If you look at the 7 in here, Invaluable, this is a horse that was claimed for $30,000, then dropped for 8 for Robertino Diodoro and won the race. Robertino grabbed this horse out of that race, come back to run a good second. Actually, John Oran, now he gets this horse. When you look at the 4, Chris Hartman took that horse off Robertino Diodoro for a higher price, dropped that horse, and she came back to win. So what do you do with the 4 and the 7? I thought those were the 2 horses to beat, but the money is going to the 3, and a lot of the buzz on the racetrack is going to the Arizona, at least the Turf Paradise horse, the Calbred, the 9 Copper Charm, the filly by Curlin. The numbers do stack up. Carlo Lopez has been on this horse before. Giovanni Franco actually has ridden at Turf Paradise for some of his career, so I would think he might have called up Carlo and asked how to ride this filly, and the 9 looks tremendous on the racetrack. But I'm not Maggie Wolfendale at any time, or Maggie Morley, excuse me, Maggie, but the 7 looked absolutely tremendous on the racetrack, guys.
Paul, you can call me whatever. I go by either name. I answer to both. No, the 7 does look good. I absolutely agree with you. And it was funny, I saw her 2 back when I was at Oaklawn Park, and she had really improved physically. She'd really put on some weight in that conditioning. Granted, that was for 8 that day, but a lot of these horses have dabbled at that level. That's why they're eligible for this condition here, this starter 10. So I have no problems, Greg, with Invaluable in here. But truly, the interesting horse is Copper Charm. And Sarah Hamilton, she just kind of started training. Another Maryland girl, seems we breed a lot of horse people from Maryland, but really enthusiastic, really tries hard. She came to, when I hosted the Legends Day, the women in racing, and she came there. She was asking everybody a bunch of questions, and she's gotten off to an auspicious start in her training career so far. So she's definitely Copper Charm in the right hands.
There is Copper Charm just walking through your screen, the 9. I like her in here. We'll see if that Turf Paradise form can translate here to Churchill. First time on a wet track as well for this filly.
You don't, we can't be too familiar with the pedigree. I mean, she's a Calbred. Got any juice on Curlin to Mischief, Greg? You're a Calbred.
Don't know a lot about Curlin to Mischief.
Neither do I, admittedly. But we see Curlins at least handle wet tracks all the time. So that's a feather in her cap. I wish I was there to look at her physically. But from the overall perspective, she looks great. So, yeah.
Well, Polly, she's stakes place at Turf Paradise. She's won 3 of her last 4 there. What do you think about her transitioning here to the off-going at Churchill?
Well, I think she's going to be okay, Greg. Now, we did have a horse that was at Turf Paradise for Phil Diamato. I know that was running out in California. That was an Arizona bred, ran 3rd in the Kentucky Oaks. When I look at Copper Charm, I see Curlin. I see Top Hit on the bottom side. For a lot of people that are not familiar, that is AAA Ranch and Corey Owens. He breeds fast over fast. He's been a breeder in Arizona for a lot of years. So I would think the 9 Copper Charm, as you can see, she has a lot of early speed, and she seems like she can place herself wherever she wants to place herself, which is a good trait.
You could count on Polly for those Arizona Cal
His stomping
pedigrees.
grounds, no
Yep.
question. 3-1 on Copper Charm. That number's come down in her Churchill Downs debut here. But Delta Gamma Cats, the 3, the one to beat with Rafael Bejarano. 6th competitive group here at Churchill. Let's go to Travis Stone.
They're in the gate, and they're off. Summer Storm strikes out for the lead. Dulcimer Dame is there, but it is Summer Storm quickest early. Dulcimer Dame comes on to be 2nd. Invaluable's right there 3rd. Hustled along is Delta Gamma Cats toward the rail, and right in the thick of it is Destiny's Darling. So down the backstretch run, Summer Storm the leader by a length. Dulcimer Dame a clear 2nd. Delta Gamma Cats toward the inside, up close and racing 3rd. Invaluable in the clear while 4th. Destiny's Darling is back into 5th, and Copper Charm is to trailer, 6 lengths off the lead. Summer Storm skitters around the far turn after an opening quarter in 21-4, but Dulcimer Dame is honing in, and here's Dulcimer Dame coming after Summer Storm. These two shoulder to shoulder by the quarter pole. Delta Gamma Cats switched outside for the final quarter mile. Copper Charm is coming on too, then it's Invaluable racing for the mid-stretch marker. Here's Delta Gamma Cats coming for the lead and taking over with a furlong to go. Dulcimer Dame fights on, but is back in 2nd as Delta Gamma Cats runs away from them. And Rafael Bejarano works out a good trip to score by 4. Dulcimer Dame was 2nd. Copper Charm was 3rd. Invaluable finished 4th.
There was just no way Delta Gamma Cats was not winning today.
Nope. Sat that good stalking trip. We saw the 2 pace setters kind of fade away. It looked Dulcimer Dame was loaded, but there was Delta Gamma Cats waiting in the wings. Weird kind of trip for the newcomer of this group in number 9, Copper Charm. She was last early. She rallied a bit late to be 3rd, but a really well-beaten 3rd. Maybe that's not where she wants to do her best running. Maybe needs to be a bit closer.
Yeah, maybe the off-track didn't take
also
to it.
that too.
Some bonus coverage here from Canterbury. We're going to bring you race 3, Mile on the Turf coming up. $16,000 condition claiming race here. And 3-5 on this one on your screen. 4-year-old filly by Misremembered has a win coming in at Turf Paradise. And looks like if she wants to be, she won that race from well off the pace. Could be the speed as well.
I mean, doesn't she seem... She seems like a strong favorite here, Greg. And as you said, she can be on the lead if she wants it, but clearly she doesn't need it. Yes, it was a quicker type of pace last time, but I don't know how that form's going to translate here to Canterbury. So we'll see. I mean, there really wasn't anybody else to get too excited about. You do have the horse coming in off the layoff in All Native. She's your current second choice at 7-2, but is she going to need a start? She seemed to get better with recent racing as of last year, but at least you know she likes it there at Canterbury. She does look as though she needs not maybe heavy hitting up front, but she's going to need them to come back to her.
Paul Allen, the call. Here's race 3 from Canterbury. Heavy favorite, last in line. Curious Indy, the 6.
Curious Indy, the 3-2 favorite. And the last in line. 6-pack, race 3, turf time. And they're racing, and they've broken a line. 2 from the outside. Daigle at 6-5 strikes the front, and Why Not Sizzle is sizzling a bit closest to the rail, and Beyond Brown splits runners and puts the head in front. After that is Casilla, winless on the turf, about 4 lengths from this dawdling early pace. Then we come back to Curious Indy, a bit wide around the turn, definitely in touch with the field and the leader, and the one in last is All Native. Around the corner they go, and they're chasing Beyond Brown. Ruben Fuentes trying to steal away at 25-1. Beyond Brown, a half. Daigle in second, a length and a half. After that, Why Not Sizzle, who is joined by Casilla just to the outside. Then we come to Curious Indy, about 5 from the front, and in last is All Native. Still no change to the pattern into the far turn, and the bomber leads the way. It is Beyond Brown looking to get into the black, joined in kind by the favored Daigle, and there goes Daigle, and Daigle blows right by Beyond Brown, who's doing the moonwalk. Why Not Sizzle is going up to second. Outside of that is Casilla. Behind them is Curious Indy, blocked right now and full of run, and All Native continues to trail. There at the top of the stretch, here's Why Not Sizzle. Why Not Sizzle from Daigle. Why Not Sizzle at 7-1. It's another upset on the Canterbury lawn. Why Not Sizzle and Harry Hernandez beautifully. 1-5-2 in race 3.
Liz Miller, I mean, she had figures in Southern California at Santa Anita that were bigger than what the favorite had run. Why Not Sizzle, 7-1, as you heard, the upset score.
That was over a year ago, Greg, and her recent form at Canterbury, granted that was last year, was not very good. Though she ran maybe deceivingly well in her dirt start, And I was just about to say, maybe this Turf Paradise form isn't translating with the 6, a disappointing 4th. But she just ran it. Turf Paradise too. Why Not Sizzle? Coming in with the win and an upset.
Why Not Sizzle? Harry Hernandez aboard for the win. Again, 7-1. And yeah, late in the wagering, we heard Paul Allen say the favorite making a move, Daigle, and it was Daigle that went off. 6-5 favorite. Yeah,
wow.
on switch late. We'll have the prices from this one coming up. We're going to take a timeout. We'll talk Soaring Softly this weekend at Belmont. Christophe Clement sending out a 3-pack. Dairy Nain, the leader of those 3, second off the bench of her 3-year-old campaign.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 7 millionaires. With over 10% stakes performers, his recent top runners include Tarabi, placed in the Grade 1 Spinaway and Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, Grade 2 winner Plum Ali, multi-millionaire Shivaji, plus these standout performers. Now his biggest book in the past decade will be 3-year-olds in 2022. A proven value sire, First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
If you're looking into racing partnerships, you should know they're not all the same. When you partner with Bond Racing Stables, you become a member of a growing family of racing enthusiasts, all guided by 3 generations of experience in thoroughbred breeding, training, and racing. Sharing the excitement at Saratoga and Belmont Park, where we've graced the winner's circle with winners like Giacosa, who was bred, born, and raised here at our Song Hill Farm. Get more than just a partnership. Become a member of the Bond Racing family. 3 generations of thoroughbred excellence.
We take pride in what we do.
For me, it's more of a passion than actual work. I'm an assistant trainer.
Carpenter.
I'm a peace officer.
I'm a jockey.
I'm a gardener.
I'm a groom.
Clocker.
Assistant starter.
Trainer. ESL teacher.
I love what I do.
There's so many jobs that come together every day. It's a collective effort that really makes this ball go round.
We are New York Racing! I couldn't imagine working anywhere else.
For me, riding horses in the morning is the best thing I can do.
New York Racing helps support my small business.
It's extremely important to the New York economy.
Like my dream come true.
This is like a big family.
We are New York Horse Racing.
Back on America's Day at the Races on FS2. And our program brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Why not Sizzle? And raced out in Southern California with some decent numbers on the turf at both Del Mar and Santa Anita, and gets back to some winning form. 3rd win in 23 career starts.
This is Harry Hernandez aboard. He's a guy who I think started out his career for a bit riding the winter at Aqueduct. So congratulations to the winning connections. Calibred, getting it done.
Back at Churchill, Delta Gamma Cats, Rafael Bejarano, Ethan West, Rafael Nunez winning connections of this 4-year-old filly by Vancouver. The one you had mentioned had been playing second fiddle to Frills, who would have been an overwhelming favorite here. And with Frills gone, she gets the win.
She was like, thank the Pope, I don't have to run against Frills today. And she proved to be best. Did not have the best of trips, though running well in defeat last time out at Churchill behind a slow pace.
She might have beat Frills with this effort.
Yeah, what? Maybe she, I mean, she had three out of 3 second place efforts on a wet track, but certainly liked it today. Delta Gamma Cats, daughter of Vancouver. I'm a proud citizen there. Will Hara.
3:10.9 finish. 7th race. Was scheduled mile 3/8 on the turf. Main track now, 1.25 in this first allowance condition. And we are going to see the U.S. debut of French sensation Michael Michel, who had become the first female to do several things, but to top the French jockey table. She remained there for about 83 days until Christophe Soumillon finally overtook her. First female to ride a treble at a major meet in France. She does that twice. She has turned a lot of heads, and now the U.S. debut coming up for Grand Motion here on the 4. Good measure.
And prior to this shift over to the U.S., she was riding in Japan and became, quote-unquote, almost like an idol over there, winning a lot. She also won a Sugar Cup at Ascot to boot.
She's a superstar in Japan.
Superstar, international fame.
Almost Yutaka Take level.
That's crazy.
Non-stop autographs. So it'll be fun to see. This race coming off the turf, Good Measure looks like one of the major players in here.
She didn't look like she had much of a shot when this was on the turf, but now she has a legitimate shot. The problem with her, though, Good Measure, is that she lacks a bit of early pace, and I think that could hurt her. But she does give the impression, watching her replays, that 1.25 miles isn't going to be a problem. She's always staying on, always coming late.
All right, we'll get back to that 7th at Churchill in a moment. Want to talk about the weekend here in New York. Grade 3, soaring softly. It's race 9 on the card again on Saturday. Look at the field that is going to line up. And here, as we went to break, we told you 3 are going to line up for Christophe Clement, including Derry Nane. It looked very impressive, just missing in her 3-year-old return to the races in the limestone at Keeneland.
She had trouble this day. Just a little bit, You know, Joel's best attribute is that he's patient with horses, but it just felt as though he was almost a little too patient with her. She needed to be kind of moving before she was here, and she had to kind of wait for a clearing. She gets on track late, but at that point, Ruthin had already dominated and taken over in this field, but she's definitely the one that's running on best, and you'd have to think that getting out to the 7 furlongs for the first time is not going to be a problem with her.
I can't wait to see Charity Party,
Right?
based off what she did in that debut, come back for start number 2 for Wesley Ward.
It was like she just appeared. It was like poof, magic trick, and she just appeared and was running through the line. So again, another one that debuted at the 5.5, but felt as though that longer distances might ultimately be better for her.
Yeah, we'll see. So, you know, sometimes we say it a lot. These closing sprinters, more ground's not always the best, but
Yeah, but
we'll see.
she looked as though, just based upon her stride length and the way she was finishing up that race, looked as though that longer might be better. It might not be the case for Darynane, and we'll see what kind of pace she gets to run into. But I know Wonka, I know she was entered, I think, in an allowance race and was reined off earlier in the meet. But I was talking to Jamie Roth of Ellen J. Foxwoods, and she's really excited about this filly. So not one that's necessarily a win candidate, but one that looks somewhat inexperienced that could step up and run well.
I wouldn't put past these connections. Jose Ortiz, Bill Mott, Ellen J. Foxwoods, 8-1 morning line. Meanwhile, here's Charity Party in the race we're talking about. So, I mean, even slow beginning, way back, and then in the stretch, even mid-stretch, there's no chance. Maybe a piece of it, she'll be lucky to hit the board.
I mean,
and then watch what she does.
One of her strides was equaling 2 of the other horses that appeared. She just really has a massive stride to her. Daughter of Dark Angel, out of a British bred mare, Spiritual Lady, who was good over in Ireland. I mean, where is she? Okay, look, she switches back to her inside lead, and that kind of accelerates her forward. She's switching leads back and forth. You'll see that a lot on the turf, but she really had a second, third, fourth type of gear to her.
Jet packs on. That was incredible. So that's going to be fun to watch her back in action. Start number 2 coming up for Wesley Ward trainee on Saturday. That's 9th on the card at Belmont. Grade 3 soaring softly. Seems like a wide open race,
It's a
but
fun
a
race.
couple of fun ones coming back in there.
Yeah, and it's a full field. It's good to see these big fields for these greatest stakes on the turf.
We're going to take a timeout. More coming up from Churchill, Canterbury, and we'll talk some other things as well.
I think there's a Triple Crown event.
Oh, yeah. Belmont. Stay with us. We'll be back.
They say breed the best of the best and hope for the best.
Macoma broke well on the outside, and
But you don't expect to get speed like this.
is Macoma the one to catch. Macoma has a 5-length lead in this Grade 1 corner.
You're watching America's Day of the Races on FS2. Let's go to Paula Duca in Louisville.
Thanks, guys. I am with Michelle, a new jockey here. She was the 2018 Apprentice winner in France. Michelle, you've ridden everywhere, all over the world, Japan, Saudi Arabia. I know you've been here for a couple weeks, been galloping some horses.
Yes, I arrived just 10 days ago, and I'm here to stay here. I won all over the world, but not in USA, so this is my goal.
She's somewhat of a sensation. She's only the second female ever to ride in the Dubai World Cup, and you almost won the Dubai Gold Cup, a good second-place finish. What does you feel like inside? You a little nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. I'm just excited, to ride here, ride my first race in USA, and what a race course.
Well, what does Graham Motion mean to you? I know Graham's been putting you up on a lot of horses.
I don't know him, but I work with Jane Buchanan, who worked for him, so maybe that's for that. I worked for him, but I'm really thankful to him.
Well, we're looking forward for your career. Get up on your mount, and good luck to Michelle. Sensation coming through Churchill Downs, guys.
Yeah, we look forward to it. Yeah, Bloodstock agent Jane Buchanan going to serve as her agent here. Her original agent, Fred Spanu, who was a rider for 25 years over in Europe, saw the first race she ever competed in and looked at her and said she's going to be a future champion jockey. Has been her mentor. They are now together, married, and her biggest supporter. She's on a 4-year visa, so she said she has 4 years to prove herself here in the U.S., but felt that she's a very aggressive rider. Her aggressive riding style would be better suited here in the States.
Well, and two, with the experience that she had in Japan, that gave her a lot of experience riding on the dirt. So riding in the U.S. isn't going to be, pardon the pun, foreign territory for her, as she's had experience with these types of surfaces, with this type of riding. And as you mentioned, her aggressive nature should suit her well. It's going to have to suit her well to get her mountain here good measure in the game, so to speak, but also going a further distance. And I love just her worldly mindset. She's won all over the world. What's left to conquer? United States, let's go. And she said, riding in Kentucky, we'll see how that goes, maybe try to come to Saratoga, and then maybe down to New Orleans after that. That's at least the game plan.
I love it. Won her first race just September of 2017, and already she has become a sensation overseas and trying to make an impact here in the U.S. This will be her first U.S. mount coming up on the 4. Good measure for Graham Motion, and a horse coming in from Maryland.
She's a horse that, at least on my form, you said her numbers make her competitive here, but she's been participating in restricted allowance races to Maryland bred. So she's stepping out of restricted company here today. But she was a horse that last race, the pace held together, and she was coming from way off of it.
Here's Arcali Kim. Only dirt start was her debut. She won by 6.5 lengths.
I think she's interesting if they decide to be aggressive with her.
It was a soft spot. It was at Tampa. Queen Bourbon at Churchill, race at 1.25 miles. She ran second in a maiden special weight.
Her numbers are faster on the dirt than many of these. I think in many ways she's the horse to beat.
Designer ready. Blinkers coming off.
Yeah, this one yet to get on the dirt, but is a daughter of Tappet. Dan wasn't good on the dirt, but some of the siblings have handled it at least.
Here she is, Mikhail Michel. U.S. debut.
Good measure. Maybe she's just been crying out for this kind of distance. It's a good thing this was taken off the turf, though.
Scarabia, Jack Sisterson, Julien Leperoux.
Terrible favorite. Why can this horse, yes, she's kept great company, but great company on the turf. Why is she a dirt horse?
10-1 on Met in Miami. This horse second beat a neck on dirt at Tampa in a allowance claiming race.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Tampa. She does feel like her dirt races are a little bit slower, but at least she's shown the ability to run over it. And she's 11-1.
Malibu Marley 18-1 in the main track only on a race that was in the slop at 1.25 miles here in an allowance group. Missed by just a length with a poor beginning.
For me, she should be the second choice. I don't think she's quite as good on the dirt as the two in here, Queen Bourbon. But as you said, she has experienced over the surface and over the distance, and she's run well in doing it. And two, how many times do we see MTOs win in these type of situations?
And she did that on a race meant for dirt against allowance company at this distance on this kind of, well, sloppy. This is muddy now. It's just been upgraded. Been sloppy for most of the evening. I can't believe you're getting 7-2 on her.
Yeah, same thing with 5-2 on Queen Bourbon, 2-1.
Look who she faced last start. Millefoy.
Millefoy, who was a prohibitive favorite that day, and a horse that at times has hinted at being competitive in stake races.
Demoiselle, Gulfstream Park Oaks, she's great at stakes placed in.
Exactly. And she controlled that day. Yes, there were fast fractions. And High Fashion just kind of chased her home. She stayed on. It was a good return to the races as you are taking a look at number 3 in here. That is Designer Ready. I don't know what to do with her. Greg, is she a dirt horse? She's 21-1. I don't want to talk anybody off of her. There's a little bit of pedigree to say that she could be okay on it.
Now, there's probably a reason her connections have only put her onto the turf to this point. She's been in, this is the 3rd different barn she's now been in. They all, until now, with Tom Drury had said, let's stay on the grass.
Right.
Here's the favorite, Scarabia. Look, we'll say this. She's been on dirt once in her career. It was the debut. She ran 3rd in the maiden special going a mile to Ellis. But
right,
it was a 43 buyer.
You're always willing to forgive a horse for their first start, especially when it's kind of early on as a 2-year-old. So, yes, we can forgive her for that. But you're not supposed to take a short price on her. If she was 5-1, okay, fine. Maybe because of her class and the class relief that she gets, she could be okay. Taking a shot with her at a decent price. But she's an American Pharaoh. Yes, he's a Triple Crown winner, but we've seen many of his progeny just be that much more proficient on the turf. She's out of a Galileo mare, an Irish bred mare. So there's every possibility that this filly can't necessarily be competitive on the dirt. And yes, we see the money drifting away from her a bit and making number 2, Queen Bourbon, the favorite, who I believe should be the rightful favorite.
Paul LaDuca, you're on site. What do you think?
Well, guys, when I was going through the paddock and running outside the paddock, I ran into Jack Sisterson, who had his binoculars on him, and I said, listen, what are your chances here? You think you got a big shot? And he's like, yeah, I really like my filly today, and the reason why is they worked her over a muddy racetrack multiple times, and she's taken to it. He says that she really loves it in the morning, and they've been waiting for like a race to come off and say, heck, let's try it. Let's go with a wet track. So Jack is very, very positive that the 5-horse here, Scarabia, this filly is going to take to the off track. Now, whether she's good enough remains to be seen. Now, the 13 on the outside, High Fashion, for Victoria Oliver, Rafael Bejarano looking to have a giant day today. The 5 seconds really scares you away, but I understand where you're going, that you're just getting too good of a price, and maybe you're getting too less of a price or not too good of a price on Queen Bourbon. I do love Queen Bourbon in the spot. That 1.25-mile race at Saratoga over a sloppy racetrack just sticks out on the racing form for me. So I'll still go with Queen Bourbon, but I really don't love the price. But we're all going to be rooting for the 4 here.
Yeah, that again, the debut mount for Michael Michel, coming from France. Well, really from all over the world. As we've mentioned, she's ridden all over the place, but yeah, originally from France. And early on, I believe 14 years old, and did a week-long trial at an apprentice school in Marseille and fell in love with the game.
That's crazy. That's just amazing that, you have people that grow up riding horses that don't achieve the status that she has and the notoriety that she has already in her young career, and to not really be born into it, and she just fell in love with it and has pursued her passion. And I commend anybody that's able to do that.
She puts in the work too. We mentioned Fred Spano. He was extremely hard on her, trying to get her to become stronger, to be her best. And she, on her own, too, traveled around to different yards in Europe to gain experience with different trainers, and clearly it's paid off.
And what, she had an injury at the end of last year that she had to come back with? Was it a broken collarbone or something?
Was it?
I think, and now coming back, and, I think rode in France coming back, had a few winners, but as she mentioned, France as a country, as a racing jurisdiction, just doesn't seem quite as open to female riders as other parts of the world. And she noted that in America we do see many successful female riders,
especially riding in the big races there.
Yeah, you're kind of kept at the kind of the claiming ranks per se.
So we wish her the best. Exciting start to her future coming up. She's riding a daughter of the Derby champ, Smarty Jones.
Derby and Preakness champ. I thought he was going to be the one, Greg.
I did too. That
A lot of
pace,
people go,
just
brutal.
Jerry Bailey,
Yeah.
many believe was the nemesis. I'm sure he's heard that time and time again over his days ever since that Belmont Stakes. What could have been?
Well, I won't go there. I ponied that year, and I took Jerry in a race. Didn't go so well.
5-2 favorite here, Scarabia. So Jack Sisterson appears to be high on his chances with a filly who's only been on the dirt once.
I love Jack's opinion, but I just can't see it at a short price as she's going back to 2-1, Greg.
Wow, favored, yeah. The 2, the 5, the 13, the top 3 on the board, and the 1 down to 7-2 as well are Callie Kim, late money. Let's go to Travis Stone, 1.25 miles off the turf here in this 7th from Churchill Downs.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Oh, and tossing the rider at the start there, Malibu Marley tossed the rider. Mitchell Merle's up and on his feet, but nonetheless, Malibu Marley out of the race. Our Callie Kim breaks near the top, and Queen Bourbon is there. High Fashion comes on. Scarabea's in tight behind them as they come by us for the first time. Our Callie Kim and Queen Bourbon to share the lead. Our Callie Kim, a narrow advantage heading into the turn. And Queen Bourbon backs off to track the pace from second. Good Measure comes through toward the inside into third. High Fashion is racing fourth. Scarabea in between horses running along in fifth. 2 lengths back, Met in Miami is racing sixth in the early stages. Designer Ready is at the back now as they move for the backstretch run. And up top, it's our Callie Kim, the leader by just under a length through an opening quarter and a moderate 24 seconds flat. A nonchalant half and 48 and 3. The pace is slow to develop. Our Callie Kim, the leader by half a length. Queen Bourbon right alongside of her. They're 1-2. With Good Measure tracking them in behind while third. High Fashion in the clear, racing up into fourth, only 2 lengths off the lead now. Scarabea is in the thick of it, racing fifth. Within striking range, though. Designer Ready starting to muster up a late rally. At the back is Met in Miami. So round the far turn are Callie Kim and Queen Bourbon. Queen Bourbon ratcheting up the pressure now. They round the far turn together. Good Measures poised in behind. Designer Ready rolling up with a wide sweep. Suddenly up into third outside. And High Fashion follows that one. So they come for the top of the stretch. Our Callie Kim set down for the drive. Queen Bourbon is right there. Designer Ready trying to sustain that rally. Good Measures in behind fourth. 1 furlong to go. Our Callie Kim kicks clear. Kicks clear by 2. Queen Bourbon's been trying hard. Designer Ready in Good Measure. Final 16th. Our Callie Kim still in front by 2. A final try inside from Good Measure, but nobody's catching our Callie Kim. A wire-to-wire winner over Good Measure, Queen Bourbon, and Designer Ready.
Our Callie Kim had not been on dirt since her debut, April of 2020, able to get the win. And how about Mikhail Michel continuing to work hard down the stretch, getting second?
Yeah, getting second with a grinding type of filly in Good Measure, never giving up on her. I would say it's probably tough to ride 1.25 miles on the dirt when you haven't been riding races recently. So well done to her, being fit and being ready. But well done, Tyler Gaffalione and Gerald Bennett. Our Callie Kim, I thought they might be aggressive with her. Why not? And that's what paid off here, was the aggressive riding, aggressive handling by Tyler to get this filly to the lead and get the win.
1-4-2 finish in the 7th of Churchill. We're back at Canterbury, 4th race. 6 furlongs on track labeled good here in this starter optional claiming group. 6 horse you're looking at here, Double Dare You. Looks like she is going to be, Well, the speed of the group, you got the 2 as well that's very fast. Those 2 probably going to go at it early.
Right, and that's what I think everybody's seeing, and maybe making TikTok the favorite in here. She does need a pace to collapse, but she's looking for her 3rd win in a row. But, Greg, all of the inside 3 fillies are looking for their 3rd win in a row. So a lot of wins with this group coming in here. I mean, even the longest shot on the board at 10-1, I Know Your Face, is a 13-time winner. Double Dare You, as you were mentioning, she's first off the claim from Miguel Hernandez. It's a small sample size, but first off the claim with horses who won their last start. He is 4 for 11, so 36% with a positive ROI.
Bounty of Gold would have been the favorite in here. The 1 scratched. TikTok, the 4, you're seeing even money here, 2 in a row for this 6-year-old mare. She beat Bounty of Gold last time out with a 6-wide trip, and there she goes, steps into the gate, and that's probably why she's the one to beat here. Quickly, we heard from an update from Paula Duca. Mitch Murrell, thrown from his mount, Malibu Marley at Churchill, appears to be okay. We'll try and get you an update in a moment.
He did bounce right on his feet.
4th from Canterbury, Paul Allen, the call.
Driving here. Be man. Oh, they can hear us. Come on, guys.
Into the gate now for the 4th race at Canterbury Park. 4 of the 5 looking to extend winning streaks. We have 3 in here looking to win 3 in a row. Lovely Linda, Criminal Record, and TikTok, the 6-5 favorite.
Like the last one moving, and that's a 5, I Know Your Face, I believe went in without a rider.
Yeah, she did not want to get in. It looks as though they had to get behind her and push her in yeah, they might be ready now. Crystal Koenig.
Yep,
Crystal Koenig back aboard.
So let's go back to Paul Allen.
For you.
Rider off the 5. John? Long side horseback.
Stand by for the Kaylee and Kendall Butler Classic. And they're racing. Double Dare You, double fast out of the gate, and with a killer crossover. That 6 has the lead with the line blinkers. Inside of that, lovely Linda in search of 3 in a row, and these 2 crackle. They are 3 lengths clear from Criminal Record in search of 3 in a row. After that, TikTok, and TikTok is 8 lengths from the lead. Then we come back to I Know Your Face last, and about 9 lengths from the front. And the front belongs to Double Dare You, and Double Dare You, looking to win 2 in a row, has run away from lovely Linda. Double Dare You 2 going into 2nd, Criminal Record. Outside of that, TikTok, then it's 5 back to the trailer. I Know Your Face. Around about the quarter pole, Double Dare You at 2.5 to 1 leads the run home, and Double Dare You has spurted clear by 5. It is Double Dare You from an on-charging TikTok. Inside of TikTok is lovely Linda, and between them, Criminal Record. After that, I Know Your Face. Into the final 125. Double Dare You slowing down, and slowing down precipitously. In fact, looking for a place to go to bed. Here's lovely Linda, and I Know Your Face on the outside. Holy cow! 5, 4, and 2 in a tight one, and it's very tight.
Double Dare You look good entering the stretch, and oh boy, got super tired. TikTok's coming, but so was I Know Your Face. The biggest price on the board at 1601 just now, starting to rev up.
Didn't want to go in, but she was going late here, Greg. And I love these colors. Sharon Boleen, I believe is how you say it, with the black and the red flames, and Crystal Koenig spurring her mount on to get the win here. Stepping, I mean, up and, well, this is a starter 3,000, but she was running for the 7,500 too. And
you mentioned it early too. This is the win leader in the field. 13 wins coming in.
14 now, coming out.
How about that? at 16-1. Huge upset. I believe she got it.
And you were mentioning Emerald Downs. She's a Washington bred.
Oh, yeah. How about that? 7-year-old mare with the victory, 14th time in her career. Looks like she gets it done. Prices from Canterbury when we come back. Peter Pan winner, We the People, was impressive on the front end. Can he get the 1.5 miles in the Belmont Stakes? We'll preview it next.
Consistently versatile with 24 Grade 1 winners on every surface from 6 furlongs to 1.25 miles all over the world.
Switzerland in the Dubai Golden Shaheen. Switzerland wins. Olympiad gets the gold in the Women's Classic.
Churchill's fight running on. Mason in front. Churchill's fight on the outside. At the wire. Photo for the win.
All purpose, all places, all power. Speightstown.
Who you betting on? How about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions. And offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.
Irish Hill and Duchess View Stallions, proudly standing the ultra-fast, multiple stakes winning son of Uncle Mo, King for a Day, the only horse to defeat 2019 3-year-old champion Maximum Security.
Well, King for a Day was basically a clone of Uncle Mo. I mean, good speed, the ability to carry it over distance of ground, real professional horse and a really cool horse to train.
Sire maker extraordinaire Uncle Mo, represented in New York by King for a Day. Visit ihdvstallions.com to book your mare today.
Hello, you've reached the offices of West Point Thoroughbreds. Please leave your name and your number, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Okay, starting to move now. He's fourth. He's on the outside now. He's pressing him now. There's the 1, the 7, and the 6. He's on the lead. There's another horse on the inside of him. He's pulling away. He's going to win this race. Oh! Oh!
We're back on America's Day at the Races on FS2, program brought to you in part by champion sprinter Run Happy. Never lost in his career while sprinting, and now standing in legendary stall number 1 in Claiborne Farm. This was a thriller down the stretch at Canterbury. I know your face, getting by the even money favorite TikTok. The final jump to return $34.80.
Thriller and Shakopee. 30, yeah, as you said. I know
Shocker and Shakopee.
Damn, I was trying to think of one, and you got it. Well done, Greg. I know your face, pulling off the big upset, speed really collapsing in that affair.
You liked this one a little bit back at Churchill. Our Callie Kim, only dirt start, was a dominant win. It was against 16 maiden claimers at Tampa. Finally gets back on dirt and wins under Tyler Gaffleon.
Aggressive handling by Tyler took them gate to wire. And, I mean, I don't want to harp on the favorite, but Scarabia, she was last by a long way in here. So, as we had pointed out, a bad favorite, but I think the story of the race running well with Michelle coming in, making a nice impression, finishing second here with her mount Good Measure.
No question on Good Measure, 21-1. Completes that exacta. That comes back $240 for $2 play. So, very nice impression in the U.S. debut mount for Mikhail Michel. Well done for Grand Motion there. 8th next, $30,000 maiden claiming race to close out the card out of the Twin Spires, 1-turn mile, 3-year-olds and up. And my brother Cam, Dallas Stewart.
The power of Andy Serling. Was he on air when he said he liked the one?
He told me off air he liked this horse quite a bit. And this horse in the second start of his career was eased, walked off, but you see early voting in the running lines.
Yeah, he's faced some nice horses early on the dirt. You know, you kind of wonder, though, why have they never gone back to the turf? His best race by a mile was on the turf. We'll see, though, as he stretches back out from the 6 furlongs, if they get him to show some early speed from that rail draw.
All right, this one's going to close out this Thursday night card at Churchill Downs. We'll get to the post parade when we come back from a short break. Stick with us. You're watching America's Day at the Races here on FS2 Evening Edition. We'll be back right after this.
Harris Farms, proudly standing Smiling Tiger, a triple grade 1 winner, defeating Breeders' Cup champions Dancing in Silks and Amazombie, a leading California sire with over $9.7 million in progeny earnings, with 94 winners in 2021 and graded stakes superstars like Spice Perfection.
Spice Perfection wins the Grade 1 La Brea.
And Tiger Dad. Smiling Tiger, a leading California sire, standing at Harris Farms. It pays to be Cal bred.
We're back on America's Day at the Races on FS2. Third and final leg of the Triple Crown still to come on June 11th. That entire week of racing, we've been saying it a lot, but it is tremendous, especially that Belmont Day just loaded the undercard, one of the absolute best days there is in this sport. Go to BelmontStakes.com. Do not miss it. Be part of the action and come see us. Here's a look at who's going to line up against your Kentucky Derby winner who sat out the Preakness, Rich Strike. This is the field potentially awaiting him, including maybe a filly for Todd Pletcher.
Yeah, Nest. Wouldn't be the first time that Todd has run one in the Belmont. Obviously, Rags to Riches gave him his first classic victory way back when she beat the mighty Curlin. But he has always said that Nest would improve with the more distance she got to cover.
Barber Road, Ethereal Road coming back. And then Peter Pan winner, We the People. Off track, got to the lead, and able to put that disappointing Arkansas Derby behind him. What do you think of his Peter Pan?
I loved it. Now, he did get things his way. And we'll see who shows up and whether he's going to be able to get his things his own way.
The other speed did not break in here, Set Sail.
Exactly. And it was funny, Set Sail was acting up prior to this race. Well, We the People was really acting up prior to the Arkansas Derby. He lost his race as soon as he set foot on the front side of Oaklawn Park. And he was so calm. He was a completely different animal, did a total 180 here at Belmont. Now, he's going to have to deal with a big crowd again, but Rudy Brissett has done so much with this horse to school him. And he's obviously loaded with talent. His problem is can he face adversity? And he's shown in his one start where he had to face it, he did not respond favorably. So we'll see what happens in the Belmont. He has the right running style for the Belmont, even if he can respond to sitting just off of it.
I'll say, too, I mean, that Arkansas Derby, he was on the outside post 9. 4 horses shot to the front trying to get the lead, and he was in a really tough position early on and had to take back.
Oh, as soon as he ran by me, I was standing right past the wire. I said, oh, my pick's got no shot.
Rudolph Brissett said, look, at times he's his own worst enemy, but he has a world of talent.
Well, I love what Rudy said, that he's a very emotional horse, and you can kind of read what he's thinking, what he's feeling when you look at his eye. And usually horses like that are very good. Horses that have that almost human-like quality do tend to be very good on the racetrack. You just have to tap into it to elicit their best efforts.
Now it's gone, but you saw that list. So who do you look at on that list? And that's the horse that scares you in the Belmont.
Oh, Mo Donegal for sure. But does he have the right running style? He's a deep closer, and often we do not see them perform necessarily that well into the Belmont.
You can play it, be part of the action with Naira Bets. Download the app, go to nairabets.com. Get that $25 free play just by signing up for the Belmont Stakes and that $200 deposit match bonus. We got the finale under the Twin Spires coming up. When we return, we'll get to the post parade from Churchill Downs, race 8, right after this.
He was just put together like a machine, and he had a great mind. Everything about him was what you'd want.
Tis the Law pops the cork in the champagne.
Tis the Law is going to win the first leg of the Triple Crown.
I've never seen him get tired.
Respect the law. Tis the law.
His structure is just perfect. His bone is perfect.
He's left the others behind. He's going to win the Run Happy Travers.
He's everything you would look for in a horse.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Back on America's Day at the Races. Thanks for being with us here on this Thursday Eve card. We got the nightcap from Churchill still ahead. 5th from Canterbury as well. Going to be on the turf in that race. But here at Churchill, muddy now on the main track for this final race of the evening. 30 maiden claiming 1 turn mile. And here's our favorite, My Brother Cam.
Yeah, look for this guy to possibly show a bit more speed than he did. First off, that trainer change going the 6 for Dallas Stewart, and he gets that drop in class facing early voting in his second start.
Coach Cal here for the aforementioned Rudolph Brissett, We the People.
He was formerly a Todd Pletcher horse that went off 9-1 at Gulfstream Park, where all of Todd's horses get bet. But he was facing Charge It that day, his stablemate.
Re-rally 22-1. Blinkers on.
This one getting back to the dirt. The debut on the dirt wasn't great, but I'm always willing to give a horse a second chance, Greg.
Ron Moquette, lowest level 7 flats ever been in.
Yeah, this guy can't get out of the gate. He's been bad getting out of the gate. Then he went really wide into that first turn. He did make up a little bit of ground with a race dominated towards the front end.
Luckman's only dirt start does not inspire confidence.
No, it does not. And it's not as if Mark Cassidy has great numbers switching from turf to dirt with the drop down.
Steve Asmussen, Tyler Gaffleone, my favorite uncle.
I mean, this horse has been in D. Wayne Lucas's barn, Keith DeSormo, and now Steve Asmussen, and none of them can get him to win.
And he comes from very far out of it, 0 for 15. Scatter Shack, I thought was the one to beat.
Yeah, I mean, his lone race and maiden claiming ranks 2 back at Keeneland makes him very, very logical here. The winner got a beautiful dream trip where he was on the 4-wide chase throughout.
Big red, white, blue, only one start, and faced Gunite, who would win the Hopeful in his debut.
Holy makeover, off for more than a year, returns as a gelding, gets Lasix, blinkers on, stretching out from the 5.
And drops in class.
I'll take the wait-and-see approach.
3 minutes to post. Let's go to Paula Duca.
Thanks, guys. One more race left here. Hopefully you're alive in your pick 4s and your pick 5s. I want to give a couple shout-outs first. Maggie, great call on the 1R Callie Kim. And I want to give a shout out to Greg Wolf because about a couple nights ago you were talking about Revolutionary and how his sons and daughters have been running on the mud. We've had 3 or 4 sons and daughters of Revolutionary win here at Churchill. Maybe that's because Warpass, his sire, won by a pole in his 2-year-old juvenile race at Monmouth. So good call by both of you guys in that last race. Let's get to the last race in here. And listen, the money's going to the one with Dallas Stewart because there's not a lot of pace in here. And I think the public and Andy earlier is thinking this horse is going to get to the front end and may not stop. And that might happen in here. There is not any really true pace. The 3 rally puts the blinkers on with a jockey change. You got Luckman, who I like a little bit. If he can get back to that speed that he had when he was a 2-year-old. I mean, he showed speed as a 2-year-old. His last couple of races on the turf, he has shown no speed at all. They have tried blinkers. They've tried a little bit of everything with the 6, and nothing has really worked. Now, again, I'm with Greg. I like the 8 in here, but you're looking at a drop-dead closer in here with not a lot of pace. So if somebody can go with the 1, I'm going to try to end this card with the 8-2 as well from way off the pace with Dale Romans, but a tough, tough race to try to figure out to end the card here at Churchill.
Well, let's take a peek at this runner right here. So here's Scatter Shack, as Paulie mentioned, going to be coming from off the pace. This was 2 starts back at Keeneland, April 22nd.
And like I said, we see the winner, who was the 2 horse in here. That was Jelly Nougat. Just sat right behind the pace, right on the rail. His rider, I can't remember who it was that day. May have been Tyler, I don't know. But just orchestrated a perfect trip, kind of threading the needle, and just got the jump on Scatter Shack, who, like I said, was on that 4-wide chase throughout. He was the beaten favorite, but I think I can forgive him for that, and dropping in for the 30, I think he's the horse to beat. As you said, maybe he does come from way out of it, but I don't think he is way out of it in here, especially with the lack of overall apparent pace other than the 1.
Yeah, not a ton of pace. As we talked about, my brother Cam, inside post 2, probably going to be gunning from the inside. Meanwhile, there's the 7. That's my favorite uncle, Tyler Gaffleon, Steve Asmussen. He should be coming from very far back in here. He's 0 for 15. You mentioned now 3rd different barn he's been in. Dwayne Lucas, Keith DeSormo, now Steve Asmussen, who's had him for several starts. And at this condition, he's had him for several starts.
That's the problem. He can't get through this condition at Oaklawn. I mean, they have great racing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that. But he's been unable to do it so far for this barn at this level, whereas Scatter Shack, he only has that 1 race. That was for 50 at Keeneland. He almost got it done. This guy has been a proven loser at this level. These types of horses, I
power
can't endorse.
Of those connections, though. Asmussen, Gaffleon, and 3-1 right now is actually the second choice on the board, despite being over 15.
And who knows? Maybe Tyler's the answer. It's the first time he's climbing aboard this horse. Maybe they get along like they become thick as thieves. They steal this one.
No.
Not with me, though.
Paulie was going to throw in Calipari as well. It was a long way to go to catch up to his namesake, who's closing in on 800 wins in his career. Calipari trying to break his maiden, get his first win here at 10-1. Do you want to take a wait-and-see approach with him, the 2?
He was under a ride the entire way. Now, that race dominated up front. Volcanic and Charge It, they went 1-2. I mean, they put a lot of separation between themselves and the rest of the field. I mean, it was 12.5 lengths back to 3rd that day. He was not professional at the break, and then Luis Reyes was just under a ride the entire way. Now, Rudy Brissett, we see often, I don't want to say the cast-offs, but at the end of the day, they kind of are from WinStar. He takes the horses that aren't cutting it with the Hall of Famers, and a lot of times we see him do well with them, but this guy just showed nothing.
But again, it was his debut.
Yep.
It was a race where Charge It would go into the Kentucky Derby. He actually might have won that Florida Derby if he stayed straight. It would have been closer.
Exactly.
I mean, that was some talent. He's not dealing with any Charge It's in here, but he needs to improve, no question.
But Rudy, I think Rudy's a great horseman, and I think we'll see an improved effort. I just don't know if it'll be a winning one.
Let's go to Travis Stone, Nightcat from Churchill.
And they're off. 7 flat, Das for speed. Calipari is as well. My brother Cam toward the inside. Big red, white, blue, Scattershack, Luckman, my favorite uncle as well. So the field sorts themselves out in this quarter-mile journey up the chute, heading for the main track, and it's my brother Cam down inside who has a narrow lead as they cross over. My brother Cam's in front, Luckman up into second, my favorite uncle's racing third, Scattershack right up and on the pace. 4 wide in fourth, they're stacked across down the backstretch run. 7 flat, coasting along fifth and toward the rail, re-rally up into sixth. Big red, white, blue is racing seventh, and it's a long way back to Calipari, who has asked for speed right off the mark and is now chugging along 10 lengths behind. The opening quarter goes in 23 seconds flat, heading for the far turn. Luckman's looking for the lead. Luckman takes a clear advantage onto the far turn, opening up. Scattershack comes on to grab second. My brother Cam is now back into third and losing ground. So 3 furlongs from the wire. It's Luckman in front. Scattershack right there second. 7 flat picks it up from third. And big red, white, blue is launching a rally 4 wide while fourth. Re-rallies coming through toward the inside fifth. My favorite uncle in sixth. And Calipari's on the scene now. 6 lengths behind there. At the top of the stretch, 7 flat comes away with the lead. Scattershack fights on toward the rail. Big red, white, blue on the outside is third. My favorite uncle Calipari racing for the final 16th. And 7 flat has kicked clear. 7 flat opening up to the wire. Rambles home to win it by 5 in the end. Very tight for second. Scattershack or big red, white, blue. Then it was my favorite uncle and Calipari.
On the late flatter with the win run, Moquette, Rafael Bejarano dropping class for 7 flat.
A little bit of a drop in class, a little bit of a troubled trip last time out, at least away from the gate. Sat a more favorable trip this time around. Greg second off the little bit of a break. And Rafael Bejarano, what a day he has had. Was that 4 wins? I think? I don't know. I wasn't necessarily paying that close attention early, but we've seen him win a couple here with you and I up on the set, and this horse just dominated. Ron Moquette picks up his first win of the Churchill Downs meet, and always good to see Ron in the winner's circle. And I will say, you know, there was no speed once again from Calipari. He ranged up around the turn, flattened out a little bit late, probably with the layoff in mind, but a horse that gives you the impression that he needs, it's only 2 wins? Oh, why did I think he had more? I think Paul said something about him having a big day. But anyway, he's won
That's a good day.
He won the late double. No, sorry, he won the 7th. I mean the 6th. I'm just gonna stop now. Anyway, he wins this one.
Yeah, Delta Gamma Cats.
Yeah, he wins this one with style. Very easily. 7 flat. And maiden no longer.
Yep, flatter out of a stormy Atlantic mare. 6th time out after never hitting the board prior. Nothing like a drop in class.
No.
Lowest level he'd been at yet and gets the win. So closes the card out. Check, he went off at 9-1 in the end.
Wow. Doesn't that feel like a big price on this horse?
Yes.
And we saw
look who he faced in the second start of his career.
Exactly.
Epicenter.
Everybody's enthralled with my brother Cam and who he faced in the second start of his career early voting. Well, this guy just
in a race he didn't even finish.
Exactly. My brother Cam, when he gets back to the turf, that's when I'll bet him.
Let's get back to Epicenter for a moment since we brought him up.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward, who do you want out of that race? The Preakness.
That's a great question. I think both horses ran really, really well. I feel as though early voting has turned the corner, whereas, you know, And so he's still a relatively lightly raced horse, especially in the face of Epicenter, who has a lot more seasoning. And I feel like he's turned the corner and he could be on the upward trajectory, whereas maybe we're seeing Epicenter, that is what he is. So I guess my roundabout answer is early voting.
What he is, though, might be the best 3-year-old in the country, too. He's probably not going to find a trip like that, too, where he gets shuffled back and is that far back early, do you think?
Who, Epicenter?
Yeah, going forward?
No, I think they resurrect that that little problem in the Preakness.
I know we got the Belmont coming up, and that's what we're going to focus on next. But I can't wait for the Travers.
I hope we see them all. I hope everybody stays happy and healthy, and they all line up the day after my birthday in Saratoga.
Oh, look at that.
I always get a nice Travers birthday present.
Rich Strike will be back. The Kentucky Derby winner sat out the Preakness. He will return in the Belmont Stakes. Can he reproduce that second biggest upset in the history of the Derby in the Test of the Champion? Le Bon Temps, the entry was 1-2. Towhead right behind that one. They were odds on for a good reason in that 2-year-old filly debut 5-furlong sprint early on back in the third at Churchill. And our Callie Kim getting back on dirt first time since the debut under Tyler Gaffleone with the victory in the feature. Back tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern on FS2. We'll see you then.